jokes they tell of their defeat in 45. They all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. They say the prisoner of Spandau was a symbol of defeat. Whilst Hess remained in prison, then the fascists they would beat. So the promise of an Aryan world would never materialize. So why did they all come out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died? The world is riddled with maggots. The maggots are getting fat. They're making a tasty meal of all the bosses and bureaucrats. They're taking over the boardrooms and they're fat and full of pride. And they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. So if you meet with these historians, I'll tell you what to say. Tell them that the Nazis never really went away. They're out there burning houses down and peddling racist lies. And we'll never rest again until every Nazi dies.
Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. The invasion had begun. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. But I feel my time has come, and if I die here for the resistance, oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. And if I die here for the resistance, you must lay me in my grave among the flowers upon the mountain. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Among the flowers upon the mountain, let me rest among the brave. Someday the people will pick the flowers. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Someday the people will pick the flowers, and they will remember my name. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of our resistance, and those who died for liberty.
Come all of you good workers, good news to you I'll tell of how the good old Union has come in here to dwell.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
My daddy was a miner and I'm a miner's son, and I'll stick with the Union till every battle's won.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
They say in Harlan County there are no neutrals there. You'll either be a Union man or a thug for J.H. Blair.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Oh, workers, can you stand it? Oh, tell me how you can. Will you be a lousy scab or will you be a man?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Don't scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
I was born in the Dublin street where the loyal runs do be, and the lovely English people walked all over us. And every single night when they tell would come home tight, he'd invite the neighbours out with his chorus. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lace of Gilshandra. Come tell us how you slew them old Arabs 2 by 2. Like the Zulus, they had knives, bows, and arrows. Of how brave you faced one with your 16-pounder gun, and you frightened all the natives to the marrow. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lace of Gilshandra. Come let us hear you tell how you stand the brave Parnell and taught them well and truly persecuted. Where are the stares and jeers that you proudly let us hear when our heroes of 16 were executed? Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lakes of Gilshandra.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch all with the wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch all with the wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead.
Oh, come out, you pretty sons, come out and fight without your guns. Show your wife how you won medals up in Derry. You murdered 16 men and you'll do the same again. So get out of here and take your bloody army. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lace of Gilshandra. Oh, come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lace of Gilshandra.
Buckingham Palace announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Hello there, hello there, hello there, my little squirrels. How are we all? Are we well? I do hope so. Yeah, no, I'm good, thank you, yeah. This stream is going to be great. I would temper those expectations. Thank you, Fogel, with 100 bitty bits. Much love to you.
That is a stiff dick of poop.
And thank you, Fogel. Oh my god. Fogel, the 5 gifties. Honestly, someone wants to get their dicks up tonight, and that's a beautiful thing. I got M&M's. What have I got? I took too many. I didn't look how many I had in my hand. So when I went like that, and I just got this fucking entire mouthful of peanut M&Ms. Oh,
Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen.
true. Oh, happy birthday, Fogel. A fascist died today. Who was that? Was Bridget Bardot a fascist? I don't know. If so, huzzah! But I have no idea about her. But anyway, thank you, Fogel. Much love. Don't forget, everyone. You can also help out with gifts, memberships, subs, YouTube. YouTube. I just said the word YouTube like an old person. Right. By becoming a member, or gifting memberships, or doing bits messages, or subscribing, or becoming a member, or doing a super chat, or doing blah, blah, blah. Fucking kill me.
Happy birthday, Vogo. You fuzzy delight.
Brigitte Bardot, French film icon turned far-right provocateur, dies at 91. Oh, she became for. I was thinking because she's old enough. Like, did she do some shit during the war, or like, you know what I mean? Some shit like that. But oh, pardon me. What did she do that was so? Oh God, okay. While her campaigning earned admiration from supporters, her public life grew increasingly controversial as she embraced far-right politics and made repeated racist and inflammatory remarks. Oh, well, I'm glad she's dead then. Okay. Her activism hardened into open support for France's far-right National Front, now known as National Rally, and the party's longtime leader, Marine Le Pen. Oh, okay, well, I'm glad she's dead then. Okay, cool. Thank you, Wayward Historian, with Biddy Bits. Much love to you. We're on a hype train. If we get to the next level of the hype train, I will finger Bridget Bardot. Which is not as sexy as it would have sounded before she was A, dead, and B, I knew she was a fascist.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
True, Gennaro, true. Anyway, huzzah! Let's all have a crab dance on that one, I reckon.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Okay, Gennaro, we get the fucking idea, mate. Shut up. We also put out a YouTube video earlier of the bit about Zach Polanski's Christmas message, so go and check that out on the YouTube. I mean, I should provide you with a link, really, shouldn't I? That would probably be the best thing you could do, Kev. You stupid bastard. Ooh. Huzzah!
Oh, there is a Kevin. So apparently one of my chatters found out that they used to have the same ingredients shared between original Iron Brew and soap, which is interesting.
What? Hang on. What the fuck does that mean? What? What?
Apparently the original Iron Brew recipe shared one of the ingredients in soap.
Oh, well, that happens with loads of things, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, it was in response to me talking about I'm drinking a very blue bottle of Lucozade, which when apparently these blue soft drinks use the same colouring that is used in like Windex and shit.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, the human being is 2/3 water.
Very true.
But I'm not actually water, you know?
You know who else was 2/3 water? Hitler.
Oh, shit. You know what? You're right. It's true. Although, to be fair, he did spill quite a bit of his liquid at the end there.
Oh, so true. Oh, you'll have to see it.
Exactly.
Can we get some crab raves in chat for Hitler?
Yeah, crab
Hitler being
raves, W's. You've got to love it. Gotta love
Epic dub.
Oh.
Hitler dude, what new?
True. And talking of fascists dying, Bridget Bardot.
Is she a fascist?
Yeah, she supported Marine Le Pen and all that bollocks.
What a dickhead.
Quite so. I didn't know this before, because, like, who gives a fuck what Brigitte Bardot has to say about anything? But now she doesn't have anything to say, because she's dead. Loser!
Ha! Me 1, Richard Pardo 0.
Exactly. Like, people going about, oh, Shakespeare. Yeah, if he was that great, how come he's fucking dead then?
Where's
Dickhead.
Shakespeare 2? Where's
Exactly.
Shakespeare 2?
Exactly. I don't see anything.
But thank you, Goatboy, for the 10 gifties, and thank you, Rongold, for the 20 gifties. Very generous of you both.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Goat Boy, for 10 gifties here as well. Much love to you. Yeah.
Much appreciated. Well, Happy New Year to you, and I hope very Merry Christmas as well, Kev. I hope you had a good Christmas.
I did. Celebrating the birth of Jesus. No, not Jesus. Jairzinho, the Brazilian footballer, who was also born on Christmas Day in 1944. Fact.
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't. I mean, well, the fact that that makes one of them and Jesus having been born on Christmas Day, because famously Jesus was born in July.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. They were not tending flocks in the fields in the middle of fucking December.
Even in
the
Levant,
northern hemisphere. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No. In Australia or some shit. Yeah. Cool.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Speaking of Australia, by the way, I can't wait to see the
losers.
I can't wait.
Out of 4.
I can't wait to see the 5th day of the test tonight. That's going to be fun, isn't it? Oh no, because apparently 5-day tests are illegal or some shit now.
Just somebody pointed out, right, the end of day when day 2 ended, it was still technically Boxing Day in Hawaii. So it was literally a test. The Boxing Day test literally it only happened within the period of the existence of Boxing Day.
Absolutely mental. That's the thing. England can win as long as the opponents don't score over 200 ever. So that's nice.
So true.
Brilliant. But yeah, no, we did win, so that's nice. Bit late, but finally, turns out, right, you probably shouldn't spend the first 3 tests of a 5-test series getting your bowlers ready for the start of the fucking series.
It was also kind of funny that we lose the kind of the only real bowler of any pedigree in the attack, and then suddenly we start taking wickets.
Because basically those first 3 tests were warm-ups. They're in rhythm now. They're bowling nicely.
Oh, even Bryden Castle looked good. It was incredible.
Bryden Castle looked like a test match bowler, and I thought, well, something's this pitch is mental then. Okay.
So true.
This pitch is ridiculous. Well, it wasn't even that bad a pitch, really. It's just that modern batsmen don't leave anything ever. Because the 20, 20 and 50 over stuff are just, but you've got to hit the ball all the time. No, you can let it go. It is a 5-day match, lads. You don't have to hit the ball every single time it comes near you.
No, that is true. That is true. Apparently, Ben Duckett, out of all openers in Test history, leaves 9% of his balls. The next person down on that list is Sanath Jayasuriya, who is like 18%.
Jesus Christ.
So he's just like way ahead of everybody else in terms of attacking the ball.
Because he's not a test match player, basically. Or he's certainly not a test match opener. Jesus Christ.
I think that he's just been told to not play test. Like, see, he can do perfectly well in the county championship, opening and playing normally. They just told him go out and play baseball all the time, and so he doesn't do it.
Well, honestly, Brendan McCullum needs to leave now. It was a fun little period, but you've not won anything. We don't win ever.
McCullum, I think somebody said like, okay, what decisions could England have made differently? I mean, decide to not make Rob Key the director of cricket 5 years ago.
Well, not just that, but like have actual fucking preparation games. Have genuine preparation games so that your bowlers and batsmen are prepared. Also, don't let them go and get fucking hammered on your weekend off in public in front of cameras everywhere. You dopey bastards.
The thing is, what's crazy is they were meaning to make the county championship into their Ashes preparation series, and then they prepared pitches that were like Australian pitches from 10 years ago, and not the Australian pitches that you actually have now. Like, it's not all green tops anymore. There is like actual variants now. They play with the kookaburra and everything. I'm like, we're preparing for Australia, preparing incorrectly because Rob Key's a fucking idiot.
No, not just that, but the county championship ends in September. So, like, again, they're not in form anymore. You need to have preparation before at
Yeah.
the start of a test series. It's so obvious they were undercooked, and it's so obvious that now they've got overs under their belt, they're bowling nicely. Who'd have thunk it? Now, I know they don't want to have like these 6-month tours like they used to have or whatever, and that's fine, I understand that. But like, you can have a couple of actual proper preparation games. That's an extra fortnight on the tour.
Oh, yeah, just
Come
treat Test cricket with the reverence that it deserves, rather than treat. Because again, I understand Ben Stokes wants to make cricket interesting and exciting again, and out of all of the people within who are to blame for the absolute fucking state of England cricket at the moment, I think Stokes is like way down the list in terms of the culpability, right? Like Luke Wright, Rob Key, and Brendan McCullum, especially Rob Key, especially. Like
You're not a fan. You're not a fan of Key for some reason.
No, fuck it. He was a shit commentator on Sky Sports, and he's a shit director of cricket. There, I said it. Fuck you, Rob.
He was an amusingly chubby opener at Test match level, though, for the brief period that he was.
Did he open in like the kind of the arse end of Nasser Hussain's captaincy?
Indeed, he did. I think he did. He only played about 10 tests, was it, or something in the end? He wasn't very good, but he was amusingly fat. Like, he was like a throwback to the fucking 1820s, 1820s.
The thing is, right, is that what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be that you have that there's the one pretty kind of larger player at like village level who's just fucking insane, who no one can get the ball through, right?
Yeah.
That's the meme. Is that a village level, a village and a like minor county level, the one like big bloke, just an absolute fucking tank who hits the ball miles.
Yeah. And that's fair enough, but like, you know, these guys are bowling 90 miles an hour consistently. You know, it's anyway.
We've got Prophylaxis in chat says cricket is an elitist game. You're surprised that we like it. I mean, it's not usually been as elitist. I mean, what was interesting is that cricket
No, to be fair, it's always been elitist.
I mean,
it's redolent of empire. You have the players versus gentlemen type stuff, where literally even men on the same team had to enter the field from a different gate based upon how fucking rich they were.
I mean, but I thought that was a very least, like, it acknowledged its own kind of self-referential nature of how classist it was, and I think that before, because
they've just got better at hiding it. Like everything, right? We're no less racist than we were. We just hide it better now. We're no less fucking sexist than we were. We just hide it better now.
I mean, that is true. But I think that, actually having gentlemen versus players, actually having, stalwart working class people who were kind of huge kind of titans of the game for so long, right? Who was the one who was from like the Northwest, and who was like a staunch Thatcherite as well, and he was just like a really big kind of working class kind of icon of the game. I forget who it was now.
I was about to say Ian Botham, but was he a Thatcherite? I'm not sure.
Well, he is now, but this was from the previous era. I forget who it was, but anyway, like there was a genuine kind of working class kind of grit of a certain kind of subsection, especially from in like Yorkshire and Lancashire, and that's just all gone now. Like even Yorkshire and all the Yorkshire and Lancashire teams just full of privately educated kids.
Oh yeah, no, they are. Well, because it's so expensive.
I think Zach Crawley keeps getting picked.
Well, exactly, yeah. It's so expensive to do now that to get into the game seriously to the point where you might get picked out from the crowd and become a thing is almost impossible, because if you're a working class person, you can't afford to do it. It's the same with tennis to a degree as well. Like, we have the potential. There's enough interest in the sport. There's enough physical prowess, clearly, with people like Andy Murray. Like, the odd person will sneak through the gaps, but ultimately that's it, because the fences are there. They're erected because of financial impediment, I suppose. But yeah.
Oh, it's Fred Truman, by the way. Thank you in chat for pointing. It was Fred Truman who was the big.
He was Yorkshire.
Yeah, it was from Skipton.
Indeed, yes.
And a staunch conservative.
He was, but he wasn't. I don't think he was like preachy about it. He was just a conservative, Which, and again, when you say Thatcherite, I'm not sure he was a Thatcherite, was he? I think he was more old school conservative, but he probably did support Thatcher. I don't know.
No, even Ian Curtis was a Thatcherite.
Okey-doke.
But yeah, like, but again, like, it just so much of what used to have like a kind of an amusing kind of class element that was kind of characterful about cricket, and in so many other parts of the society now, and then a post George Osborne era, it's just posh people. Like music, the music industry, it's just posh people.
Yeah.
Just posh people with rich parents who send them to private schools, and people who can afford the nice schools with the bands and with the big kind of array of instruments for young kids to pick up whenever they want. And if you're working class, right, not only do you not get well-stocked schools with musical instruments that you can learn, musical lessons are incredibly expensive too, and rehearsal space isn't cheap either. Whereas if you're a posh school, you just go rehearse in your school. They'll just allow you to rehearse in school.
Yep.
Like if you're a band, if you're a punk band nowadays, where the fuck are you meant to rehearse? What, in your flat, in your HMO?
Yeah. No, you get kicked out. You broke the private tenancy, so you're just homeless now. Bye.
So
and then they
thank you,
jack it
Nick-
up by $1,000 and sell it back out on the market again. Yeah.
Literally. Thank you, Nick, for the 10 gifties, and thank you, ANPJ, for the £5. Said it was great on the Sunday roast. Thank you, I appreciate it. But yeah, like.
Oh, you went on the
it's-
Sunday roast? Oh, that's dope. Okay.
Yeah, there was for the New Year special. It was loads of fun. Always enjoy Alex and Madge. But yeah, like you'll have like fucking punk bands. You like both of these punk like front people. They both went to fucking private school. It's genuinely miserable. Like, because again, so much of the best parts of British music have come out of like working class British culture. Like you've got like factory records and shit, and it's just all gone. It's all fucking gone.
Yep. Yep, no, that's true. Yep. Again, the classist element of British society hasn't disappeared. They just hide it better.
Well, but they don't even hide it at all, because you don't see working class people anywhere. They don't fucking exist, right? Like.
Oh
it
no,
was-
I don't mean
yeah.
I don't mean posh people dominating. I mean the idea, the systems that are in place to make it that way are hidden, or reasonably well hidden.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, for we shit on New Labour very frequently, but at the very least, they treated the Britain like the meritocracy that Conservatives pretend that they want it to be by trying to give people equality of opportunity, right? Like, they may have not done so much for having like a comprehensive welfare state, or getting rid of like inequality, but at the very least, right? They put the things and public services in place for people to use, and to make sure that the gap between the rich and the poor was lower, the starting point of working class people was lower.
True.
And in a George Osborne, it's all fucking gone. If you, literally, like, I swear 90% of your success is just was I shat out of the right uterus in the right place in the country.
True, very true. Thank you, Historian, with 2025 bits. Much love. Happy New Year to you as well. And thank you everyone for the hype train. Is 2020 over yet? It does feel a bit, yeah, it is a bit, was it weeks that decades happen in and decades that weeks happen in? Yeah. Shall we do some content or just chat? I don't even give a fuck.
Well, I'm happy to just chat. I mean, I think I kind of pitched this as like a review of the year type thing.
Yes. Well,
because so much has happened. It feels like fucking, again, a lifetime has happened in this year.
True, but before we get on to any of the serious politics, one thing I did this was I've got like a folder of shite that I like collect over the year, and I was looking through it, and I found, I think, my highlight of the year, and it happened so early that I thought, well, something will beat it, and it didn't, frankly. On January the 7th of 2025, so near as damn it a year ago, the Labour Party did an amazing thing. Not amazing enough to make up for all the evil shit, but still pretty incredible. Hang on a minute, I need to share with you, and I need to share with chat, don't I? Where are we? They released this amazing,
oh my fucking god,
AI image, AI video of animals, but like really hench, like sexy animals. It's weird.
I think this is copyright, by the way.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Well, what I'll tell you then is that music that is copyright was especially funny that they found out that that's a Portuguese song, right? Called Montagum Corral or something of that nature, which contains the lines "Sit bad, bounce bad. It locks on the tip of my cock and doesn't stop." and allusions to sex, alcohol consumption, and the smoking of marijuana, and ends with the repeated line, Just a punch in the girl's pussy. Just a punch in a young girl's pussy.
Just your average Labour Party advertisement there, chat. This has been a political party broadcast on behalf of Keith.
Genuinely incredible. Genuinely incredible. Yeah, I don't. Nothing topped it. Nothing topped it. It was perfect. If they bring in the new year as strongly this year, honestly, they could be polling upwards of 4% by the end of the year.
Come on. God, I mean, I guess that's a really good jumping off point to talk about just how shit of a year it's been for the Labour Party. Honestly, I'm living for it.
It's been very, very bad, and mainly because they are bad. Not just like they're bad in terms of their policy, which is obviously true, but I mean, so are the Tories. Look, bad policy actually gets you elected in the UK because people in Britain are fucking idiots. It's that they're bad at politics. I genuinely think we'll look back, and this didn't even happen this year, of course, but we will look back on the winter fuel allowance stuff as like the cut that never stopped bleeding.
I mean, the U-turn on this came. The U-turn on it came this year, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. That is
the spending review.
Yeah.
And I think that, I mean, obviously that was terrible politics. And the fact they announced it before fucking recess, which meant that it was just all people talked about for a week, right?
And they've never ever been able to drag it back. That's the point. It's the kind of bleeding ulcer that just never stopped because they've never been able to drag back the media narrative at any point. And again, it's not just bad communications, although the communications are unbelievably shite. It's that they're bad at politics. They don't get it because the McSweeney brand, or whatever you want to call it, was never about governing. It was about getting rid of the fleas. It was just about internal party dominance. And then they got into office and were like, oh shit, now we need to do something. And they just haven't been able to do anything.
I mean, Maurice Glassman literally admitted it, just openly. Like, we thought it was just like, oh, people, it was just conspiracy baiting, I guess. No, Maurice Glassman was just on there on Newsnight and said, oh yeah, we didn't think we would have 5 years in opposition. We thought we were there for 10 years. So we had the first 5 years just set out for ridding the Labour Party of anti-Semitism, right?
Oh yeah, anti-Semitism, naturally, yes.
Yeah, and then they said, well, we thought we'd have later on to prepare policy. And I'm just like, these are the adults, by the way.
Mm.
This is the adults in the room.
Also, talking of anti-Semitism, not to get too sidetracked here, but did you see the campaign against anti-Semitism versus Reginald D. Hunter?
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. For those who don't know, Reginald D. Hunter, American comedian, made some controversial comments on stage in his Edinburgh show about Israel, and that was perceived as anti-Semitic by some people. And so the campaign against anti-Semitism, which is a front group for Israel, I'm just going to say it out loud, take me to court, you cunts, I don't care, took him to court about this under a private prosecution, because the public prosecution said, no, there's no chance of getting a fucking prosecution on this, so no. Private prosecution. Now, in a private prosecution, the people putting it forward are essentially trying to take state power into their own hands via a judge, right? You put all of the evidence, both pro and against your position, to the judge, and the judge decides whether he can then compel, or he or she, can compel that person / organisation into the dock to answer for their potential crimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do that. They just didn't do that at all. They put only completely biased bullshit information before the judge to get them to essentially not arrest but interrogate Reginald D. Hunter, because again, the whole point of the lawfare is that the action is the punishment itself. In the same way that it doesn't matter to these people whether the Palestine Action people actually get convicted of anything, the fact that they're on hunger strike in prison right now is the punishment. It's the punishment for those people, and it chills everybody else's free speech because they don't want to end up in the same situation. So maybe they shut the fuck up, right?
Yeah, because when people are so famous that they can't be held on remand the way the Palestine Action ones, you just attack their wallet.
Indeed.
Have well-funded people who are there specifically to ensure that people don't feel like they're able to speak on these issues unless they be forced through legal proceedings, which they can't afford. That's what J.K. Rowling does with trans people all the time.
Indeed. So the CIA, a joke organisation which isn't about anti-Semitism and is literally just a front for Israel to protect Israeli public image interests in the UK, basically.
It's related. Isn't it related with Gideon Falter?
I don't know. off the top of my head.
Because I mean, like, again, like, there's really important because even if we disagree with people like the Community Security Trust, whatever it is, on their stance on Israel, for example, the CST does exist to combat anti-Semitism, right? Like, they may go about different ways that we don't like, whatever it might be, right? But at the very least, the CST is explicitly there because it's it's an actual campaign against anti-Semitism, whereas CA is just Israeli lobbying, right? In the same way that, like, the Jewish National Fund. Like, he just puts the stuff in the name. It's explicitly about the expansion of Judea and Samaria, in their own words, you know?
Indeed,
it's explicitly about that.
Indeed, so. And so they took him to court. The judge eventually got all of the evidence because naturally Reginald D. Hunter's lawyers put that evidence before the judge, and the judge not only threw it out, but was unbelievably harsh in a way that you never get judges at the High Court to ever be. Because they're not really supposed to give opinions or anything like that. They're supposed to just give a decision on the actual case. But he was so pissed off that he'd been lied to, and this is exactly what it was, a lie, by not giving the information. He literally said, if I'd been presented with this information, I wouldn't have given the injunction.
Wow, incredible scenes.
Right? And literally said, now that his judgment on this now has to be entered in any private prosecution that organisation ever does from now to the end of time. Basically, as a warning to future judges, don't trust these guys. He literally said they were acting in bad faith. He literally used the word, their goal was cancellation, not prosecution.
Incredible scenes, really. I mean, this is the same guy who did this weird thing where he tried to pretend that the police tried to stop him from using a road because he was Jewish, when it's like, no, like, you're deliberately trying to provoke people at a protest which is being specifically corralled and controlled by police presence. Yeah. You can't just go there and try and rile people up for video footage, right? Yeah. Weird how I had this really damning encounter with a policeman just whilst I happen to be here with my camera crew.
Yeah, exactly. Just wandering around with a camera crew, as one normally does. What, you don't have your own camera crew on hand? How very gauche. So yes, the CIA now, from now till literally the end of time, whenever they do a private prosecution, that judgment is entered as part of the evidence as well now. Basically, as a kind of judge to judge, don't trust these cunts message. So basically, they're going to find it very difficult to get any injunction against anyone, and rightly so, because it's obviously vexatious. Obviously vexatious.
I mean, you don't lie to the judge unless it's vexatious, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got no reason to. So I mean, awesome, good stuff. For once, British justice actually did the just thing, which is rare, but it does happen from time to time. Anyway, so yeah, the Labour Party, load of shit. I mean, frankly, what sums up their year is that at one of the Prime Minister's questions, the Chancellor started crying.
I mean, obviously, last year was really all about the winter fuel allowance. You started off this by talking about specifically that the Labour Party are not just bad with policy, but bad at politics, because they've had some okay policies. Like, it's not all the policies have been bad. It's just, a great deal of the policies that have been bad, right? Yeah. But when it comes to politics, they are terrible. And it's not just the political decisions, it's the internal stuff as well, because these are all just very green political actors. I mean, we have a Prime Minister who's been an MP since 2015, who never wants to be Prime Minister, and is basically being operated like fucking Orville by Morgan McSweeney, right?
Yeah, true.
And this really came to a head at just how shambolic the Parliamentary Labour Party kind of setup is, the government setup is, was the run-up to the vote on the disability cuts, right?
Yeah.
Because not only, we all agree that the cuts were fucking monstrous, and it was openly known that hundreds of thousands of disabled people would go into poverty as a result of these changes that were there just to punish people for being disabled. Just make it harder for people who are disabled to get access to welfare because they wanted to penny pinch for the Treasury, which was the explicit plan, by the way. It was specifically about trying to penny pinch for the Treasury, and they openly admitted that this was the case, right? And then they didn't try and corral their MPs around some kind of support for the piece of legislation. They didn't bother getting their ducks in a row to pass this. They're not even bothered talking to the people in the background and say, look, we want to have these concessions on this. They waited until the fucking day of the vote. They waited until the day of the vote to try and get this stuff through, right?
Apparently your stream has died.
It has indeed. It said I was live on Streamlabs. It must have been what happened the other day. I'm not sure. Either way, I'm just gonna restart the stream.
Okay.
But yeah, sorry, just gonna get that restarted, and I'll go back into my monologue for 1 second.
Okay. Well, what I'll do whilst you're sort of waiting, is point out, I think, a great example of them not just being bad at policy, but it's the politics of it, because they do have some good policies. Is actually at the budget, right? There were some good bits in the budget, getting rid of the 2-child benefit cap, capping rail fares, capping prescription charges, stuff like that, right? Just solid social democratic policy, right? Absolutely fine with that. The problem is with the politics, right? They're so unbelievably poor that they tried the most obvious sleight of hand ever, where she went out before, was it the CBI or whoever it was, and made that speech about how, I'm going to have to do massive tax rises. Damn nearly fucking crashed the economy, the stupid bitch. And then when she eventually makes the thing, rather than everyone going, oh, that's brilliant, she's pulled rabbits out of hat, they're just like, oh, thank fuck, that wasn't as terrible as I thought it might be. And so everyone just realised that she lied, to the point where fucking Nigel Farage, one of the most unethical human beings that's ever lived, a man so far up Putin's arse he can fucking see the back of his teeth, right, is putting her before an ethics probe in Parliament because of the obvious lies that she told.
Yeah, they had been given the information from the OBR that actually said that the productivity downgrade wasn't as bad as they thought it was going to be, right?
Yeah.
Like, they thought this was no, they knew that it was fine, and they told people that it wasn't, just in case. It's incredible. But on the disability cuts, right, they waited until the day of the vote to try and convince MPs and whip MPs, right? You're supposed to prep your MPs for important votes on big kind of marquee policies months in advance. They had 9 months from the announce of the policy for the cuts to PIP between then and the actual vote, which was earlier this year, April time, I believe. Like 9 months, Keir Starmer had barely even spoken to his own MPs. There were plenty of his own MPs never spoken to the fucking guy in his life. Brian Leishman was one of them, and the whip removed, having never spoken to the person that led the government at the time. And in the run-up to this vote, they didn't try and get people to get the votes. And it got to the point where they relented and they conceded on this bill in terms of getting rid of some of the worst PIP cuts. There were still the LCRRA cuts, but they got rid of most of the bad PIP cuts because MPs were just going to rebel, right? They had a giant majority. And there was enough rebels to collapse the government's legislation. It was an absolute fucking shambles. Again, real adults in the room type stuff. And they pulled the legislation on an intervention on someone's part to on someone's contribution to the debate in Parliament about the bill itself, right?
Yeah.
Incredibly famous clip of Ian Lavery saying, "I've never seen anything like it in my time in the House of Commons, where a bill has been amended as part of an intervention to somebody else's debate contribution." But let's pull up the clip. It's incredible. Ian Lavery, an absolute mad lad.
Yeah. It's absolutely outrageous. Thank you to Nick with 10 gifted memberships on the YouTube. Much love. Thank you, Carl Brown, with a gifted membership, and Carl Brown with another gifted membership. Thank you, Andrew, who says, better 2026 bitches. Is that the number of bitches you think I'm going to get? Because that's adventurous as a number. Thank you. And thank you, Andrew Luke, with 5 memberships as well. Did I miss anything on the Twitch? No, I did not. I had my noise alerts turned off because I was listening to high-level political analysis, and I forgot to turn it back on. So, yes. It's playing now. Yeah, apparently Helena's stream is now back on. So if the people who emigrated over want to go back, you absolutely can. You're more than welcome to stay, but you should probably go back. I suppose.
Have both open, right? You should have both. Count your views for both if you're going to mute one.
No,
views up on
fuck
both.
Fuck off back to Helena Land or wherever you come from.
But yeah, Barry Brown pointing out the Sensible's media reaction to the disability cuts not going through was astonishing. The line was literally, "We can't pass anything with a 200-seat majority." I'm like, no, you literally can pass stuff. Just don't be fucking idiots and know how to whip and prime your MPs before a giant fucking vote. Just incredibly apocalyptically poor politicking from the Labour Party at the time.
And it hasn't. It seemingly hasn't improved any, because they've had the same problems and a lot of the backbenchers grumbling about the same things. So they're setting themselves up for whenever they do come back and try and do some kind of either PIP change or whatever thing, because they seem intent on out reforming reform or out Torying the Tories on something, they're going to probably lose again.
Yeah, and again, they won't do the legwork to either have whipped the MPs or have forced the MPs to make concessions, right? They don't realise that this is a negotiation between them and their backbench. That's always the case. It's always a negotiation between the backbench and the government, right? You can't just tell them to do what you want, and because they have constituents who are concerned, right? These people have disabled constituents. They're not going to just vote the way the government tells them because they say so. You just like any negotiation, any sales procedure. Someone who's worked in sales, you go in with a pretty disagreeable opening offer, and then you negotiate down from there. You don't go in with your final fucking offer. You start big and then you go back down. And they just didn't realize it. Yet people thought that's what they were doing, and they weren't doing it. It's like, we want everything here. We want to throw all of the disabled people into wood chippers. And I'm like, well, I have disabled people who don't want to be thrown in wood chippers in my constituency. Tough shit. We're whipping you. What are you going to do to negotiate with me to change this legislation? Nothing. Do what we say. Because they had gotten used to treating the left like that, and the actual people, again, the people who they had fucking rigged selections for, specifically for party loyalty, they couldn't even rig that right, because they rigged it to put a bunch of people in who were like, no, actually, I don't want to murder disabled people, thank you.
Well, because they are still members of the Labour Party, which, however far they've gone from their core values that they used to pretend to have or whatever, they're still, I think, less... They don't enjoy the evil, even if they end up voting for it. So when it comes to something as demonic as that, they really don't want to vote for that. Especially when you treat them like shit as well,
Yeah, they do get treated like shit. They literally get treated as if they're just there to rubber stamp fucking, King Keir's legislative agreements. I'm like, no, you are selected by the Labour Party. You are a representative of the members and the Parliamentary Labour Party. You serve them, not the other fucking way around. Although, of course, that's never been the way that Starmer and McSweeney have ever seen it, right? Like, it is ironic that they describe everyone on the left as Trotskyists. They describe the Corbyn leadership, which was very welcoming and very kind of conciliatory to the people who hated them and never wanted to be conciliatory back in the first place, as Stalinist, when they acted like fucking Stalinists the whole time. It was quite literally democratic centralism at Labour Party HQ for the during the Keir Starmer leadership of the party. It was like, well, you vote for me once, therefore I get to decide literally everything, and if you don't agree, you'll get excommunicated, right? Like, that's it.
Yeah, literally. So here's the question then. Here's the prediction for 2026. Do we think Sir Keith Stonger, KC, will be Prime Minister this time next year?
It won't be Prime Minister by this time next week, no. It'll be May. After the May elections, there'll be a King's speech, and then 2 weeks later, he'll get cooed.
You reckon? Okay, who do you reckon he's going to get cooed in favour of?
Oh, it's going to be Streeting.
Oh, okay. Well, that's strong. I think it depends to a degree how successful they are in trying to cancel all of these council elections. Because if the number's small enough, even if they do really badly, if they only lose an X number of seats, and it's not like a historic number of seats or anything, because they basically allowed half the country to not vote again, he might be able to just about cling on, maybe. It depends.
I think the thing is that basically all of the councils that are still doing their elections are all now just in Labour heartlands. Like, all of London is still having a local election.
That is true, yeah.
So there's no excuse, because there's no reorganisation happening in London for them to be able to ignore. But I just want to do some thanks, by the way. Thank you, Andrew, for the £2. Hit the like buttons, I agree. Thank you, Barry, for the 10 gifties. And thank you, Andrew Luke, for 5 gifties. And thank you, Macropologist, for the follow. Welcome in.
Indeed so. Okay, here's the one then. Who goes first? Keith or Kevin?
Who's Kevin?
The leader of the opposition. Kevin Badenobbs or something? I don't know who he is.
There's an opposition?
Apparently, you know the ones that sit across the hall from them?
I thought it was Liberal Democrats.
Is it? Well, maybe they could just play one-on-one and FIFA then. It'd be fine.
Again, I mean, I think Kemi Badenoch will stick around. People have, for some reason, right? I don't know. I keep seeing this everywhere. I've never seen any actual evidence of this being the case. But people talk about a conservative resurgence because they're up from 17 to 19% in the polls.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this a resurgence for the Conservative Party? It doesn't look like it. You know, this is a party, the kind of the natural party of government that's gotten higher than 35% in basically every election. Even in 1997, they got 33% when they got roasted by Tony Blair, and now they're polling, you know, on average sub 20%. Like, we're back in business. Are you? Are you back in business?
No,
Like
it literally, even at your resurgence, this would still be the worst result in your history. This would still be absolute fucking wipeout territory. What are you talking about? It's resurgent in the way that once he's had his arms and legs cut off, the Black Knight in Monty Python is like, I'll still come back at you. I'll bite your ankles. You know, like it's that level of like resurgence.
But I think he'll be the one to go. And like, I would, this time last year, I wouldn't have in a million years have thought it would be Wes Streeting. Like, the parliamentary Labour Party aren't really fond of him.
No.
The membership hate him, right? Or at least they did at that point. But two things have happened. First of all, over 100,000 members have left this last year.
That is true.
That's fucking insane, right? Just an absolute scores of Labour members have just been leaving the party for obvious reasons.
And to be fair, I think what my prediction for next year is that the Greens will surpass Labour in membership.
I think so too. I think you're right. I think that Reform and Greens are the two biggest parties.
Imagine that even a year ago, saying that those would be the two largest parties by membership. Mad, absolutely fucking like. It's like we're going to dance on the fucking surface of the sun or something. Like, it's insanity, and yet that's where we're going to be in 3 or 4 months.
Exactly, and the thing is that now all the 100,000 members that were left, all of those people hate Wes Streeting, right?
Yeah.
Every single Labour member who's left the party doesn't like Wes Streeting, so it's only the fucking briefcases left. Like,
Sure.
there were briefcases left, and there were, like, you know, open Labour, soft left type people who go, well, anything is better than Keir Starmer. We have to vote for whoever's the most likely to get him out, and we're going to be Wes Streeting, right? And Wes Streeting's like doing his manoeuvres already. They're already doing them. He's already doing his manoeuvres, like talking about how bad it is that Israel's doing things. And like, well, you didn't say this when the genocide started, did you? But regardless, but I guess this resident doctor thing will probably bite him in the arse. But I think he's the most likely.
It does depend, because like, there's no doubt that having been given a pretty decent payout, even though it doesn't equate to even being back to parity with where they should have been before austerity, they were still given a sizable payout when Labour got in. The junior doctors don't have a lot of love in the country, which is strange because they usually would have, but he might be able to actually tough this one out and come out bizarrely looking slightly stronger because of it.
I mean, that probably is the case in terms of the wider public. I think maybe a way that he'll go to the membership and say, look, if we want to not be seen as being beholden to the unions, even though obviously they fucking aren't, right, then you got to vote for me because I can stand up. But I mean, I think you're right that the public perception of the junior doctors is low. I just people just don't understand how real terms pay works.
Well, exactly, yeah, then they don't. But then that's the thing. That's what, you know, the kind of political triangulation is all about, right? It's not what is reality, it's what is the perception of reality. And the public don't like this strike. They really don't. And so he might be, if he toughs it out and is seen to come out as a winner again, not if he is a winner, just if he is seen to have won that. That puts him in a very strong position, because let's be honest, Labour are not posting many dubs right now. They're not chalking many up in the W column. So if he's able to put one up on the board, he can say, look, see, I'm a winner. Get rid of this fucking loser. Here I am, you know? Which might play in his favour, but ultimately won't make a blind bit of difference, because it's going to be the same series of shithouse policies and failure and disaster.
No, and more PFIs and shit like that, right? Like, it's obvious what's going to happen.
And the trans gulags!
Yes, that will be the unfortunate reality of having Wes Streeting in number 10. But I mean, yeah, like, it's crazy to think that I've flipped totally 180. I for a very long time thought that they were grooming Bridget Phillipson to be the heir apparent, right? It's clear that if you want to go full blue Labour, she's the one you go to, you know, the woman from the northeast. It ticks all of the identity boxes of people who don't become leaders of the Labour Party, or haven't been leaders of the, you know, especially when it comes to the kind of background that she's from, who haven't been the leader of the Labour Party since fucking decades and decades ago. So I thought they were lining her up to be the leader, but
True, but like, I mean, this is going to sound mad, but like Wes Streeting isn't particularly charismatic, but Bridget Phillipson just leaves you cold. Does that make sense? Like, she's not. I don't think she's going to be saleable to the country. Whereas they probably feel like, oh shit, sorry, like Wes Streeting is a better salesman because he's got a funny little smile or whatever, you know.
yeah, I think that's true. I think as well. I think they've given Bridget Phillipson like a brief that doesn't bode well for being popular amongst the country.
Yeah, true. That is true.
I mean, because Wes Streeting, it makes sense for them to put Wes Streeting in this position if they wanted to have him, you know, as the heir apparent to Keir Starmer, because one of the only places they've put lots of money has been the NHS, right? So the one place of the public realm that will definitely see an improvement in terms of delivery is going to be the NHS.
Well, you know who I think is going to be the next Labour leader? He's going to make a shock comeback, I think. He's going to rejoin the party and become leader, George Galloway.
Oh my God! Imagine the true blue Labour.
Literally. I watched the thing with him in the week on the stream. It was lovely. Him being interviewed by Crispin Flintoff, and they were talking about stuff, and he was like, "Oh, well, we could never join a full political pact with your party because Jeremy Corbyn believes that trans women are women." Like that was his go-to. Like that's the big difference there. Jesus Christ, man! Like you're just a fucking right winger at this point. That's
incredible. Again, like these people think about nothing else. Yeah. They literally think about nothing. They just trans people just living. It's that meme of the SpongeBob being all of the walls. Yeah. With trans flags and like Squidward just like going fucking insane. Well, they really literally is absolutely crazy.
They think about trans people more than trans people think about trans people.
Yeah, it's just it's nonsense, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, what was the old line about? Was it disgust being obsession? Like it is. Yeah. You know, there's no one who thinks about food more than like an anorexic or something. You know, it's that type deal. They're absolutely fucking obsessed with it. But thankfully he's a political. And I just wanted to play Throbbing on the sound deck, which is fun.
Throbbing out
within earshot of Lenin's tomb. Genuinely one of the greatest sentences ever spoken.
I know. I mean, he does so many great Galloway lines, honestly. It's him such a dickhead.
Yeah, he's one of those people where... I mean, the exact percentage fluctuates, but it's like 70% of the time you're like, yes, right on. And then he'll say something and you're just like, oh, you're a fucking lunatic. The fuck is wrong with you? Yes, we need to fight imperialism. Yeah, exactly. The West, war in Iraq and Afghanistan and blah, 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 which is why we should support Vladimir Putin. No! Fucking idiot, man. God almighty. Oh. Anyway, I suppose one of the big winners from this year, unfortunately, has been Nigel Farage. And the reform.
I mean, ever since the May elections, they've been going from strength to strength. It has kind of peeled back recently. Like, the racism scandal has kind of hit. But really, honestly, I think we can all agree that the turning point for this year, where Reform UK started losing, was when they got spurned by Big John.
True. Big John coming out as not a massive racist. Really fucked up. Yeah.
I mean, we heard the greatest phrase ever uttered on BBC Newsnight in history. The phrase, I'm associated with Chinese takeaways.
True.
Can we get Bosch in chat? Bosch is in chat now.
Bosch. Yeah. Does that count? Does that count as foreign influence? If he's connected with Chinese takeaways, I don't know.
But either way, like, just him, like, literally saying, I was going to vote Reform because I wanted to do a protest vote because I hate the two main parties. And then I just realised that Yusuf and Nigel Farage are massive racists. And I'm like, yeah, woke is back, guys. Woke is so fucking back.
True. Although, having watched the World Championship, fucking Gerwyn Price, the Welshman, came out and said he was going to vote for Reform in the by-election in Caerphilly. And I was just like, oh, that's such a shame. Because like, I liked him. He's a mouthy cunt. He's a gobby fucker. But he's also very good. And I'm glad he got knocked out in the second round. Because he's a reform prick. Fuck him. And so I can't support him ever again now. It's a shame, but there we go.
Yeah. But I mean, like, honestly, Big John's like hero arc has been incredibly wholesome. I mean,
It
it's kind of
has.
a wholesome, yeah.
It has, and it gives you some. It just reminds you that actually most people are probably just a bit normal, really.
I mean, everyone, yeah, like it's just there. We only ever hear the stories of people getting mad on because with the contentious shit that gets pushed on like Twitter. And most people actually are not dickheads. Most people are not dickheads.
Yeah, exactly. They might believe things you don't necessarily like and hold really odd opinions about.
I mean,
whatever, but-
Big John is right wing. Like he supported the Conservative Party because he believes in capitalism and he believes in like free market economics and shit like that. And of course, I disagree with all of these things. He didn't like Jeremy Corbyn because he was a socialist. And like we have completely opposite politics. But like the basic thing we should agree on is like racism is bad. I mean, he passes the woke test on that.
Yeah, exactly. Look, 2025 was the year that they declared woke dead, and woke, like the Undertaker, stuck its hand out of the coffin and grabbed culture by the neck, and came back to life.
So
Zombie
true.
woke. Let's go.
Absolutely. Well, we have woke the white has arisen from the ashes of woke the grey.
So you had to make it nerdy, didn't you?
I was either going with that. I was going to go with we'd rolled away the stone of the tomb of woke.
Well, that would be at least I suppose. Well, no, Christmas is about birth rather than his death, but Jesus thematic, I suppose.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's just, and it was really heartwarming to see him go down there and try and corral people's support for this takeaway that's been attacked by racists. You know.
Yeah. No, that is nice.
And he's just a guy who loves his food. Lovely takeaway, simple as.
Yeah, simple as. Bosh. Yeah. Is Nigel Farage going to become Prime Minister? Not next year, obviously, but like at some point. Cause...
I mean, yeah, of course he is. We will have a Prime Minister who once said "Hawk to it on that bussy till it claps" on Cameo.
Well, don't make me like him. What are you doing? I'm trying.
Next, I'll tell you who said "Up the Rah" as well.
He did up the Rah, Nigel. The thing is, he's as is so often the case, a strength can be a weakness and a weakness can be a strength. The Reform Party is so reliant on him as a figure and that's worked for them so far because he's sort of seen as charismatic and for some reason he's popular. I'm not entirely sure why. But if something happens to him, and I don't mean that in like some sort of horrible like Charlie Kirk-esque way. I mean like if there's something in his private life or like if the Russia thing actually gets back to him or something, you know, if they find out he took money surreptitiously from Moscow or something, that party is basically dead. Well, no, it's not dead. It's dead as it's not. Look, without him, they are not going to form a government.
No, 100%.
Simple as that.
And that's like because you can tell they've been trying to incubate future talent because they know that Nigel Farage's political career will not last forever.
Yeah,
and
he is old. You know, he's not a young man anymore. Yeah.
No, he isn't. And they keep trying. Like, the talent they try and incubate, there is no talent. These people are fucking like. Not only are the political opinions insane, but also just like extremely unlikable. Like Azir Yusuf, he reeks of slime. He's the slimiest man in politics.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't trust him. I would never turn my back on him.
I literally, and like
awful.
And like Sarah Pochin, just again, all it is
Or-
the dregs of the weirdos from the Conservative Party.
Yeah, or
and she's like the peak of the crop.
30p Lee.
I mean, 30p has always been a grift, like moving from party to party based on who's successful. Labour then.
Well, no, but
Reform,
the point being is that that's the talent they have, quote unquote.
Yeah, again, like just the fucking the backwash from the rest of the political parties. Like Sarah Pochin, just like such a fucking like wingnut. She's like, "The guy, I hate seeing black and Asian people on telly," and I'm just like, yeah, like obviously it's a party of racists, right?
Yeah, it's pretty racist. Yeah, but you know who isn't racist? What a segue. Hello there, Hannah Reloaded. And thank you for raiding in. Much love. I'm Kevin Logan, socialist from the UK. You can hit the follow button. It's free and makes you 9.8% sexier. That's how it works. It's in the Twitch TOS and everything. Joining me is No Justice MTG, who you should also go and follow.
You should.
Ladies and gentlemen,
they are also a person from the UK.
victory is ours.
Don't hold that against them. Okay.
We have to live here. Think how we feel.
Exactly. Yeah. Look, we have to live on Garbage Island with the garbage people. Quite literally in my city, because there's a fucking bin strike that's been going on damn near all fucking year, and we now have an army of T-Rex sized rats stalking the landscape, picking off the weakest.
Well, I mean, speaking of the even more Labour failures of this year, I think this has to rank really highly as one of the most kind of disgraceful things that the Labour Party have been doing all this time.
Yeah, I think so, actually, yeah. Yeah, it started in, was it April or March, I think?
March it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, just gone on all fucking year. And for the new people, they literally, I joke about them being T-Rex size, but the stories of massive rats, because we've got huge piles of fucking rubbish everywhere because it's not being collected, and to the point where not only did they have the bin strikers on strike, but the scabs they brought in to replace them also went on strike. They lost 2 lots of binmen. How? How are you that shit? You lost 2 workforces. That's mental.
And the trade union is fucking affiliated to the party running the council.
The trade union has a Labour government nationally and a Labour council, both asking their own members to cross their picket line. And they're paying them money for the privilege. I don't know, like, it's not even cuckoldery. At least the cuck gets to be in the fucking room. They're in the hallway having to listen to it. They don't even get to watch.
Yeah, it's such a fucking disgrace. It's a fucking disgrace.
Hang on, I've got that. There we go.
It's a fucking disgrace.
True. It really, yeah. It's. Oh my god, it's so embarrassing, and that's why I mean, at time of recording, we're going to have elections in May here in Birmingham. And the Labour Party are going to get absolutely fucked on, because not only would they already be in significant danger because of the National Party and how badly that's affecting things, but locally, like, I think people would rather lynch them than vote for them.
Yeah, I think that is basically true at this
So,
point.
like, anyone who's... And I feel sort of bad, because I think there are probably decent Labour councillors who really care and want to do things properly, who are going to get fucked by the fact that nationally and locally the Labour Party are so scummy that their chance of being re-elected this year is 0. Or next year,
I mean, yeah,
suppose,
that is the big kind of prediction for next year. It's just how badly Labour are going to get hammered at the local elections. And also worth pointing out, the Tories will get hammered too. There aren't as many Tory defences, and a lot of the councils which are going through reorganisations who are having their elections cancelled are Tory councils too. So it's probably going to be an even bigger percentage of the ones that are now Labour defences.
Unfortunately, it's going to be Reform that will replace them in a lot of cases, but I can genuinely see the Tories being all but wiped out in Birmingham. Because again, no one wants them. Even the Tories who live here don't want the Tories. So they're going to end up with, you know, several Reform councillors, and it'd be interesting to see. I think it'll go to no overall control. I think it'll be like a 5-way split between Labour. There'll probably be a few Tories. The Greens should make some gains, although maybe not massive gains here. Whoever missed out.
I think
Liberal
I was
Democrats, and there'll be a significant number of independents based upon both Palestine, and there'll probably be like a Workers' Party or two, one of those types, you know. Yeah.
Or just NIMBYs.
Yeah, basically, yes. Yeah.
There might just be a NIMBY party. I mean, like, I was looking at some of the predictions, and there were some. I think it might have been Hodge Hill, or maybe it was Selly Oak actually, which was predicted to like where the Greens could potentially win those. In Westminster.
Yeah, Selly at Westminster. Yeah, Selly Oak, which is the seat I live in. It was predicted in a couple of the polls to go to the Greens. Now it depends who stands. Because at the moment the Greens have one councillor in Birmingham, which is not great actually. The Green Party in Birmingham has been pretty poor at winning elections, clearly. Although it's growing, so you know, give it time. What was I going to say? So he might stand for that. Like, that would make sense, I suppose. And he's got a good local following. He's well thought of. So, and if he's fighting against Al Khan's, the current incumbent, who has never been here and wouldn't be able to... Like, I don't think... If you told him, you don't have a map, make your way back to your constituency, I don't think he'd come... I don't think he'd find us. That's how few times he's ever even been here. He was parachuted in, and then has just gone to Westminster and stayed there. Basically, he doesn't come here. No one knows who the fuck he is. I couldn't pick. Like most people around here, couldn't pick him out if you walked past him in the fucking street. Hadn't got a clue who he is. So there's a damn good chance he gets unseated, and rightly so. Fucking wanker who's like boasts about what he did in Afghanistan. Get fucked, mate.
Jesus, average Labour MP in 2025.
He literally is. Yeah, he's the veterans minister. He was like parachuted in just to become the veterans minister. Like we basically they've foisted a Tory onto a left wing area. Brilliant. Thanks.
It's just so pathetic how the Labour Party just thinks they think so little of working class people. They're just like, we don't have to change any of our policies or our positions on anything. If we just throw ex-coppers and ex-service people into roles as MPs by rigging the selections, they'll come back to us because they think that we're normal again. And I'm like, no, you actually do have to, give these people policy that it materially increases their standard of living, right? You do need to actually have policies people want to vote for. You can't just vibes your way into being supported. And they've done the opposite. They've vibed their way out of being a relevant political party, it seems.
Very much so, very much so. Thank you to My Left Eye for raiding in on the YouTubes. Hello, My Left Eyers. Subscribe and all that jazz. I'm here with No Justice MTG. We're doing a very, very well-structured piece of content tonight. Exceptionally well struck. We put so much work in. Well, technically we have. It's been 12 months of toil, and now we're just sort of reminiscing, I suppose.
I mean, I think it's been such a fucking wild year, and this is just the UK. Like globally as well, the policy's been even more insane.
I was thinking about this. Like in a world where everything's weird, what does the word weird even mean anymore? Is this just the new normal now?
I mean, I guess it must be. I mean, never been a better time to be a political content creator, it seems.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. It's absolute banter clock constantly, which is nice. That's it makes my life easier. There's always something to talk about. But I'm more than happy. Like, I've tried to do a few football streams. I've fallen off on that. Well, maybe I'll get back into it next year. But I'd be more than happy for everyone to for everything to be perfect. The briefcases can go back to grilling, and I'll do fucking football streams. I'd be more than happy to do that. But unfortunately, the world is absolutely mental. Because apparently Donald Trump's about to nuke Caracas or something,
the world just doesn't stop. And we've only talked. I mean, we've basically only talked about just Labour and reforms here so far. We've been going for we're going for over an hour. Right, we talked about the cricket, I guess, but that's just 40% of British politics that we've covered, and there's still way more to talk about, right? Like, obviously we touched on Kevin Ballanodge. I'd forget his name anyway.
Yeah.
The Conservative Party's year has also been extremely weird. One of my best of segments from this year was talk about what the fuck has happened to Robert Jenrick. This is the year where Conservative Party ministers got on the internet and on Twitter and radicalised themselves into fascism.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was always a fascist. I just think he's now decided he's allowed to let his freak flag fly. Like, they've decided they're not going to... And actually, there was a good example of this. I was listening to a thing the other day about how the Conservative Friends of Israel, would never, under previous leaders, even under Boris Johnson, they wouldn't let them go to, Likud events when they held in London, because they didn't want it to be associated with them. Whereas now, there were over 200, either sitting or former Conservative MPs at the Conservative Friends of Israel Likud event in London. Because they don't care anymore. They're not going to pretend to be a centre ground party anymore, which is probably the wise political move, but is also despicable.
I mean, I don't think it is a good political move either. I mean, Rory Stewart was saying this for all people. There is only one space for a right-wing political party, and it's going to be the one that hasn't been tainted by 15 years of failure,
Yeah.
It's just as simple as that. They're not going to get away from the fact that the voting bases just these people only care about immigration. Their voting bases are obsessed with immigration, and the Conservative Party have got 14 years of government where they said they would bring it down and never did. So there's nothing that they can do by going to the right. They should go to the Lib Dems and try and fight them.
Well, I mean, I know what you mean, but the problem is there aren't any voters there. Like, this is what I mean. Tactically, I know what you mean there, but in terms of the only chance they have of actually surviving is potentially trying to take on Reform and trying to win. They won't win, naturally, because they're hull below the waterline, they're sinking. They're the Titanic, it's over. But there actually are voters there. Like, this centre ground, this is where the kind of Blairist old New Labour, if you can imagine such a thing, people are completely wrong about this. I think the only person I think I've heard from that old guard who's got it right would actually be war criminal himself, Alistair Campbell, who seems to have realised that that centre ground has been largely vacated by the populace because of the extreme times in which we live and the economic precarity of it all. So you have room on the left, which I think is being absorbed largely by the Green Party, although your party might get in on the act at some point. On the right, you have obviously Reform and the Tories moving that way, and I mean, I suppose to a degree, Labour moving that way as well. The centre ground has been vacated because there aren't votes there. No one wants it. The Cox, the Change UK people, tried it and were wiped out to a man, woman, child, mineral, vegetable, everything. They don't exist anymore. They literally don't exist because no one wants that shit. Look. This was the same problem with Brexit. Trying to sell a populace on the status quo when they fucking hate the status quo doesn't work.
It's so true. So true.
Trying to be continuity when everyone fucking hates the state of things. No one's voting for that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was this delusional thing. Like, I remember it's in 2023 or 2022, I think it was. Maybe it was 2022. Some FT columnist was just like, and they've been going, oh, well, the UK's populism moment is over. We had Brexit, that's happened, and now we're back to mainstream politics. I'm like, how fucking delusional are these people? Do they not see the state of the world? Of course the populism moment isn't ending, because the material conditions that created it have only gotten worse since, right? Like, we're in prime radicalization territory, declining Western powers in the face of the rise of China and the global South. We're seeing breakdowns in terms of peace in Europe, breakdown of NATO. We're seeing the economies, especially in Europe, is kind of faltering and kind of stagnating broadly, aging horribly. So that their actual working age populations are tiny in comparison to their retired generations everywhere across the Anglosphere. Yeah, of course these countries are going to be in decline. It's going to lead to turbulent times politically, and that's not going away.
I think what's really telling about this discussion, if you'll allow me to get a bit meta for a second,
go for it,
is that you can tell how badly this year has gone for the Conservative Party, because even though you tried specifically to interject the Conservative Party into the discussion, we instantly stopped talking about them.
Yep.
Because they're not relevant. They're not relevant to anything. They're not a going concern. So no one cares.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're not politically relevant. They're politically interesting, though. It is really politically interesting.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely.
Discuss what's happened to them, right? Like, you can tell that they're just not made for these kind of days, right? They're not made for this kind of era of politics, for multiple reasons. First of all, because they don't get what people are mad about right now, because they're all posh wankers who've never wanted for anything in their life, right? Like, these people have lived incredibly privileged upbringings, and so they don't get it, right? You in the middle of a cost of living crisis, like we joked about it, but I think it's really serious how out of touch they are.
Well, literally,
but when there's a cost of living crisis, they're banging up at the Chagos Islands.
But literally, why would they care about the cost of living crisis when they've never cared about the cost of anything? Because they've never had to. They're the kind of people who can go into a shop and they don't have to check whether they can afford things.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it doesn't concern them. So the Chagos Islands is really important to them, or whether someone eats steak or a sandwich for lunch is really important to them, or what David Tennant said on Twitter is very important to them.
Trans people existing in general, like,
it's
not of importance to most people.
Yeah, exactly. Like, literally, that's the point. People who run on this shit, like, even in countries, let's just keep it to the West. Even in countries where support for trans people isn't that high, no one has it down as their first thing. No one has it as their number one priority. Not even close,
yeah.
Like, it's not, it doesn't make the top 5 for everyone outside of, like, people who live in mouldy castles, I suppose. No one cares about it. So trying to run on it doesn't fucking work.
And it's just interesting to watch how many people from the Conservative Party have just been radicalised on Twitter. Like, that's what happened to Kemi Badenoch, right? Like, she lives on Twitter. There was a really funny story in the New Statesman about how Kemi Badenoch goes and decompresses by just shutting herself and locking herself in her car and just scrolling Twitter while she's on, like, the campaign trail and shit. Like, she's a deeply terminally online person. It's why she doesn't get, like, what normal people are like. Robert Jenrick's, that happened to him, obviously, with him banging on about integration and all the kind of stuff where he's just weirdly attacked, like, brown people and stuff like the weird Alan Partridge video we watched of him going, this is a video games controller, like just really weird esoteric stuff that no one really cares about because he's seen it on his Twitter feed and got mad about it.
And attacking Birmingham. But Birmingham was a bit of a whipping boy this year for the Conservatoids, because we got some brown people and we're not like really mad about that.
It's so true. Like and. Oh, David Frost, like, Lord David Frost of all people, right? Going, oh, well, I think you need to learn about the UK thing, IYOOKAY, right? If you want to learn about the UK phenomenon, i.e. things are not exactly the same as the nostalgic vision of Britain I remember from the 1970s and 60s, you know, which is basically all of these people's politics in a nutshell. And to learn more about this, you can follow this Twitter meme account, which is Drukpa Cunley, like this fascist account that just constantly tweets about how non-homogeneous societies are bad. And it's like, oh yeah, so this guy has been radicalized by Twitter meme accounts. That is the world of conservative politics. People bored, just making themselves angry on Twitter.
Genuinely, the meme of, there was a generation of people who told us not to take everything on TV seriously, who now have become fascists because of Facebook memes. It literally has happened. That's not just a joke. That's a sociological phenomena that's taken place there. Literally, they've gone, oh well, there's a Facebook meme of it says here this person was arrested for saying they're English and saying that white people exist. I must instantly vote for Nigel fucking Hitler. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's like people defending Lucy Connolly. Like, just no one. It's not defensible. Like again, you can say that maybe what happened was bad, right? The way she was treated by the justice system wasn't ideal, right? And we had interesting discussion about this between us on stream, right? But like, people thought that she was somehow some kind of martyr for saying that people should be burned alive, right? And I'm like, no. But burning people alive is bad, by the way. And that's because, again, you have to be Twitter brained to think this, in the same way that Kemi Badenoch has to be Twitter brained to, you know, be so obsessed with trans people. In her, we joked about the Doctor Who comment, that was in her pitch video. To be leader of the Conservative Party, she was pitching herself to be like the leader of the opposition and the mother of all parliaments. And she thought, well, if I talk about Doctor Who, people will know what I'm talking about. No, they really won't. People won't have a fucking clue what you're talking about.
Well, she knows that the anti-Doctor Who constituency, that's big in Britain. That's a big thing. She's going after the anti-Doctor Who vote.
It's just so fucking funny to me, watching them just lose their minds, because they can't cope, A, with not being in power, because that's the natural party of government, and they can't cope with being a dead political party. It's sending them insane.
Well, hang on. You know Doctor Who regenerates. Does that mean, does she think that the character is trans?
One can only assume so.
You know they've transitioned like 13 times now. Unbelievable.
And also the year before, the fucking national anthem changed its pronouns, which is very woke.
It's very woke. We shouldn't have any pronouns, okay? Pronouns are evil. Honestly, having to explain to Conservatives what a pronoun is, because they've just been told pronouns are bad, and they don't know what that word means. And you just don't. It's like a verb or a noun. It's just a part of a language. Like, you can't get rid of pronouns. What the fuck does that even mean? You're speaking English now. You just use the word I. You know that's a pronoun. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Yes, it fucking is. Oh God. Anyway.
Literally, again, at the heart of conservatism is things are different and me no likey. That's basically it half the time, you know?
Yeah.
Like they go, well, the country's just changed. It's not what I like. Yeah, countries do change. In the same way that when you were growing up in the 70s and 80s, it wasn't the same as the 50s and the 40s. Yeah, countries develop and change over time. Just because what's changing is instead of like the architectural style or the kind of food that's served, it's the colors of the faces that you see, and you're like, why again? Like you say, well, it's a different kind of difference. I mean, yeah, it's a different kind of difference because your motivation for thinking it's different is racism, right?
Yeah. Well, John Cleese's thing of like, London isn't. I don't see it as a British city anymore. It's not like the London I grew up in. Yeah, you grew up in the fucking 50s. Yeah. What do you mean? Do you think it was the same 50 years before that? Or 50 years before that? No, everything changes. Also, dickhead, you live in Barbados. Shut the fuck up.
So true. So true. So true. I just, honestly, again, like someone pointing out, like, the Twitter brain poison's gone so far. Like Piers Morgan got attacked on Twitter for saying he would give up an ethnically homogenous society for curry. And I'm like, this is the thing that they say, well, we need to go back to ethnic homogeneity. Why do we need to do this? I'm like,
Yeah,
you think you want to give this up for curry? And I'm like, well, I don't value the thing that you're saying that I should value. So your answer to me, your question to me is, do I want to have curry or no curry? Obviously, I want curry.
Well,
Who the fuck doesn't want curry?
I'll go further. I'd give it up for nothing. Because I don't care. I hold it with zero value. So to me, giving it up isn't anything. I don't see that I've lost anything.
No, exactly.
There's no trade here. It's basically we get curry and we give nothing up for it. Win-win.
Yeah.
Perfect. I couldn't give a fuck. Ethnic homogeneity can suck my anus. I don't care. It's not a thing of any value to me whatsoever.
And again, because their idea of ethnic homogeneity is literally just the color of people's faces. That's just true.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
no one ever complained when it was people who were with white skin who grew up, like the historic Italian families in London or whatever, who run like this famous like breakfast like cafe in London, Carluccio's, and it's an Italian family moved during the 1800s, like past down generations or whatever it is. And I'm just like, you never complain about those. I'm like, well, because it's not the same. And I'm like, yeah, I know it's not the same. It's because you're a racist. That's it. That's the thing that's different in this dynamic that's going on here. It's just, and again, it's just frustrating to deal with these people.
It really is. It really is. But you know what's not frustrating? The fact that the Green Party have done very well this year.
Oh my god, I mean, it's been a real meteoric rise. And again, I kept saying to people, in every video I did about why the Green Party were doing bad, like, they're too nice, they don't do good social media, and they don't have a coherent narrative or message. And then Zach Polanski came on, who started fights, who had a coherent message, and was very good with social media, doubled themselves in the polls, like almost overnight.
Also, shout out, hello Zach, we know you're listening, mate. Hello. You alright? How you getting on? You enjoying your cycle? Good lad. Good lad.
I honestly feel like at this point, I feel like the Green Party's kind of political strategy is like this baby that I was incubating for like 2022 till 2024, and then all the people who've kind of been brought into this kind of political movement, again, whether it's through me or not, obviously it's only a small minority that were through me, but broadly there's this kind of the lefty marketers have all been kind of coalescing around trying to make the Green Party a vehicle that's worth supporting, and it's all just kind of come to fruition. It really does feel vindicating.
I think everyone should give some big ups to No Justice, because like you have been a significant part of this, I think, and also like you went on the podcast with Zach Polanski, right? And now Gary Lineker's going on it, to which you have to say, stay in your fucking lane, Lineker. Okay, just because No Justice did it, now all of a sudden it's cool and fashionable. Now Lineker wants in. Get wrecked, mate. No, I'm only playing. No, he's pulling in some good names. It's good stuff. And now, of course, now he's not working for the BBC. He doesn't have to bite his tongue all the fucking time. And look, this is the thing, right? For all of the nonsense people talk about, he got paid so much by the BBC. He's earning like 3 times that amount in the private sector now. Like, the BBC doesn't pay out massive wages compared to what all of these people can earn. You do that because you want to work for the BBC. The BBC is exceptionally good value for money, even if, let's be honest, some of its news coverage is dog shit.
Oh yeah, and it's a really important cultural artifact, which is why I have been so infuriated by people from both sides who want to destroy it. And I'm like, yeah, you think that it's bad, but it would be worse if it wasn't there. Like,
oh, gotcha.
It should be nurtured and fixed rather than specifically being denigrated for not being ideal. I mean, nothing is ideal, you know, but would it be worse if we were like America where all news is partisan? Yes, it would be significantly worse.
True. Also, thank you, Wayward Historian, for reminding me. Yes, everyone go and help the Save Druid's Heath from Gentrification Fund. The link is there in chat. If you're in Helena's chat, you'll have to come over here, I guess. I'm not going to be posting links elsewhere, but there you go. Yes. Wayward's amazing, by the way. Every time we got onto the topic of like migrants or boats or whatever, I once, right, as it was a joke story, but it was funny. Someone did a fundraiser for the RNLI, right, the Royal National Lifeboat Institute, to name a boat after Nigel Farage to go and like pick up migrants. Which is a funny thing to do, and I posted a link about go and give money to the RNLI. So every time we talk about migrants at all now, she's there. There it is, boom, straight away. With the donate page for the RNLI. Like it's god, she's amazing. Honestly, she puts so much more work into this channel than I do.
We stand.
We do.
But yeah, like the Green Party is interesting insofar as the Labour Party have recognised that the Green Party are biting on their heels, and it's been really funny looking at the ways in which they're attacking the Greens and how it's all failed. Everything has failed, right? Because their attack lines have mostly been on national security grounds, which most Green voters don't care about. And the second thing they've done is just try and say, well, the Green Party isn't serious. Steve Reed called them wacky and then called them dangerous because he realised that the first insult didn't land and then the next one didn't land. And it's because they just don't have any lines other than go, we are the sensible adults in the world. Because that's all of their politics. That's literally all their politics.
But have you considered Hypnoboob?
Literally, that's all they've got. It's all they've got is Hypnoboob. Just offer good policy. Offer good policy to people, and they will not move to parties of the populist left.
Well, this is the thing. Not only has the Green Party done very well in terms of membership, and I'm sure we'll pick up seats in May, and are now targeting more than 40 seats at the next general election, which would be fucking incredible. What I think this is the point we've made throughout the year, that you don't have to be in office to have power. That Nigel Farage is the man dictating government policy, and he has 5 or 6 MPs, depending on which one of them has been done for sexual assault or battery or some sort of financial crime or something, on any given Tuesday. And so you've definitely seen the Labour Party, like there's no way they'd have scrapped the 2-child benefit cap if it weren't for the Green Party's resurgence. I don't think they'd have done many of those kind of more progressive, or let's say less regressive things that they did in the budget without the Green Party. And if you end up with 20, 30, 40 seats, you can be kingmaker in a hung parliament.
100%. Because you know that the Reform Conservative coalition will be close to the majority kind of level in terms of how many seats that they get. It's going to be a real kind of bum squeaker at the next election. One would expect. We expect the polls to kind of sort of normalise rather than just be way ahead for Reform like they are right now. It's 3 years away, isn't it? It's difficult to speculate. But you say 40 seats in the kind of split support base, assuming first past the post, means that probably they will need the entire traffic light to be able to pass a King's speech.
Yeah,
they will need to get votes from the Lib Dems, the SNP, and the Green Party, and that will be the only coalition that will ever get formed, right? Because it'll have to be Tories and Reform, and I don't think they'll get enough seats together.
Yeah, basically. So we'll wait and see on that. But either way, like Zach Polanski has been a genuine breath of fresh air. I watched his Christmas message. Firstly, the fact that he put it out at the same time as the King is beautiful.
Real rage bait, true rage bait hours.
They were so arse-pained about it. It was fucking brilliant. And again, they don't seem to realise, in the same way that and I've got the T-shirt over there, of the New York Post front page of Zohra Mamdani with the hammer and sickle. Like, that's dope. Like, that's some shit that I would have on a T-shirt. And I literally fucking do, right? They don't realise, in the modern age of political dialogue, especially with younger people, and when I say young people, I mean people like under 50, basically. The majority, I think. Although not necessarily the voting majority. All the attack lines don't work anymore. That just trying to go with the same lines that worked, in the 1990s or the 1980s, isn't going to fucking fly anymore.
Nope.
And so no one cares that he put it out at the same time as the King, but the people who want to vote for Zach Polanski and are potentially going to vote for Zach Polanski like the fact that he boiled the piss of those people.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
That's the beautiful thing. Hang on, we've got a noise thing. 1 second.
About the piles of rubbish in Brown, Kev,
yeah.
you keep thinking
Thank you,
about
Bunker
it
Cat, for the
wrong.
raid, by the way.
Don't
Everyone
you
go
know
and follow
Labour
myself.
have done a
Go follow Bunker
socialism
Cat
by
in my
building
chat, and everyone
communal
go follow
housing
KF
for the
Local
rats?
175, who I'm
Smiley
currently
face
streaming with.
emoji, wishing you and Noah happy new year.
Thank you, Jack Meller, but also, you didn't need to write me a fucking essay. I'm only
The Jack Meller.
The fucking Jack Meller. Legend. Anyway.
As I live and breathe.
Indeed. Anyway. Where was I? I've totally forgotten where I was.
The piss boiling.
Yes, the fact that he boiled their piss was enough. That's it. Brilliant. Fantastic. It works. That's exactly what people want him to be. They want him to be a disruptor. He's not just going to go with the flow. He's not just going to do everything that you're supposed to do. No, fuck that noise. Why should the King be given some sort of seat of reverence? He's a fucking wanker protecting his paedophile brother. No one cares. He's a prick.
I think it's quite interesting as well that we seem to be living in the kind of 2016 era trigger the libs period, but the other way around, right? Zach Polanski's noticed this. I think it's really interesting, right? So what Zach Polanski has done to be able to raise his salience is successfully bait the right-wing press.
Yes.
And it's a really positive feedback loop in that the right-wing press will write a dumb hit piece about him, which is totally fucking stupid and nonsensical, but whatever, right? And he'll post about it on social media going, lol, look at this dickhead from the Times, right? Aren't they rattled?
Yeah.
No actual meaningful engagement with any of the actual written material, because why the fuck would you? It's the Telegraph and the Times. None of these people have anything important that anyone needs to hear. So just mock them openly. And that means people click through to the article, gets them click-through rate, and like, oh, people like the Zach Polanski stuff, we would like another one. And then they post another article to get more rage bait and to get more engagement, which means Zach Polanski mocks them again and it raises his profile again. It's this positive feedback loop, which benefits specifically Zach Polanski, because any publicity is good publicity.
Well, this is
he
the
is
thing.
living on rage bait.
Yeah. People said, why is he launching a podcast? Well, in an age where the media aren't going to give you that platform, make your own. And he's done that with the podcast. But he's also done it with, like you say, every time one of them mentions him, he wins. Bizarrely. Even if they're saying, like, he's literally Hitler. He can come out and just make fun of them. And that's what, the people who already support him want from him, because they want him to take the piss out of these people. Again, I think, as a direct response to the owning the libs thing, where like, the old attitude of, well, if they go low, we go high. No, fuck that noise. You want to fucking scrap? Let's go, you pricks, right?
Yep.
Let's have you. That's all I want. I want a politician with some fucking spine. And Keir Starmer is the most spineless cunt I've ever seen in my life. Zach Polanski's got a bit about him, and that's all people really want, is someone who looks like they give a fuck. And he's got it. And so I watched that thing on Christmas, and it was fucking brilliant, because he's the only politician who's saying anything like that. There's no one else, because all they are, these fucking Westminster drones, is triangulation machines. They take what they think the public want to hear and they'll just say any old shit. Whereas Zach Polanski has an opinion on something. Zach Polanski believes in something, and he's prepared to fucking fight for it. And that's all I want from a guy. I don't care if he's fucking perfect. He's not perfect. Who cares? I want him to succeed so fucking badly, because he's a genuine breath of fresh air. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're 100% bang on the money, and people will gravitate towards it,
Yeah, exactly.
Again, like, why would you, at a time at which, there is real societal entropy at the moment? Things are not cohesive. It is entropic, is the way I would describe society at the moment. And you want to know that your politicians have a vision, have beliefs, have a drive, have a world that they would like to build and what they would like to see. And whilst Nigel Farage's world he wants to see is fucking insane and miserable and terrifying, right? At least he believes in it. And likewise to Zach Polanski, and is far more, hopeful, vision of a better world.
Sometimes may be good,
Does
sometimes
Keir Starmer
may be
believe
shit.
any of these? No, he doesn't. But fucking no.
Shout
And
out
if he
No
if he
Justice in
told you that
TG.
he believed in something, would you believe him? Also, no.
Well, exactly, yeah. Like, not only is Keir Starmer, like, just a fucking liar, but he doesn't have any grounding at all. Like, he was happy to keep those kids in poverty for 18 months, and now lauds the policy that has been changed by, let's be honest, by the Politburo, of which he is merely the mouth, the puppet, that the hand goes up the arse of. And now says, oh, it's so fantastic we brought these kids out of poverty. You don't believe anything, do you? You honestly don't believe a fucking thing, mate. And people can see through it. Like, I always think about these Westminster bastards. Like, do they honestly think people are buying into this? Because they must look at the polling numbers and realise that they're not, surely. And yet they carry on with the same shit.
I think the real nadir when it came to them thinking that all of the people they want to vote for them are gullible fucking idiots, right? Is when they put all of the flags on all of the Labour Party campaign material, on all of the posters, on all of the membership
Sometimes
cards.
may
and
be
I'm just
good,
like,
sometimes
do you
may be
think
shit.
people who are avowed patriots, who have some reverence for the flag, again, I don't understand it, but it's clear that they do and it's close to their heart. Nationalism and patriotism are, somewhat intertwined with their political beliefs. And Labour Party want them to vote for them, so they're just slapping the flag on things. And was it Vet Cooper said, I have Union Jack bunting in my house. 5 different types, actually. No one fucking believes you.
That was a highlight. That was a highlight.
It really was. It really was a highlight.
Or no, or him tweeting out, I support flags.
I'm a supporter of flags. Or Mike Tapp's English breakfast tweet. Like, it's just like, it's just so pathetic. No one believes you.
Yeah.
If you believed any of these things genuinely, you would have believed it 5 minutes before, at least 5 minutes before people started putting up flags everywhere, rather than waiting until that became a thing and jumping on the fucking bandwagon.
Like, I genuinely
Everyone sees
think
through
it should be. If a minister makes claims like that, what should happen is they get locked in the room with no communication with the outside, and a court-appointed person gets to break into their house and take pictures to show whether they were telling the truth or not. I guarantee she hasn't got a single bit of Union Jack bunting in her fucking house. And why would you? That would be gross and weird.
It would be weird, wouldn't it? But they just say it. They say anything. Just thinking that everyone who supports them is thinking that everyone whose vote that they want to call is actually fucking brain dead, like an actual fucking troglodyte. Yeah. They think that these people will just believe anything politicians say when it's obvious they're lying. We all know they're lying. Everyone knows Keir Starmer's a liar. Like, remember that Savanta poll they pulled up? This was even before this year. But this was last year, where it just like this huge word in the middle, it's emblazoned liar. Like, even the swear words are tiny in comparison.
But I do love the word cunt was there, quite large. Like, it wasn't like vanishingly small.
Honestly, they just believe everyone is a gullible idiot, and no one believes you, because again, you would have believed this before now. And it's the same as true with the 2-child benefit cap. When they go from we have to support it, there'll be an economic collapse if we don't keep the 2-child benefit cap, because there'll be a run on the pound, according to Lucy Powell or whatever it was, and the 2-child with winter fuel payments as well. That's why that's a means test, because they'll be run on the pound. Nonsense, obviously. It's a tiny amount of money in terms of public spending. And then they suspend the whip from 7 MPs over the 2-child benefit cap stuff. And then they spin on a dime just magically as soon as the Green Party is polling highly to their left. And I'm just like, it's obvious that you guys were just lying the whole time, and you just take every single position, as you say, as you quite rightly and astutely pointed out, as a triangulation machine rather than as a politician who believes in anything. Because, again, these people believe that politics isn't actually about having beliefs, it's about playing a game. It's a fucking, it's a... Again, you're triangulating it within politics as well as outside of it.
Indeed. Thank you, Jacob WR, for donating, and said, shout out to No Justice Mutug. I don't know who that is.
Thank you, Jacob WR, for saying for super chatting £10 and saying shout out Kevin Logan. I agree. I would shout out Kevin Logan.
Would you shout
Logan?
Would you shout at Kevin Logan?
True, I would do. Probably at the bar at Edgbaston, going, "What beer do you want?"
True. Anything but Red Stripe, for the love of God. I will drink a pint of piss before I drink Red Stripe.
So true.
Thank you, Andrina, with 5 memberships on the Yam Tubes. Thank you, Fosmos, with 100 bits, who says, "What do you think Keith's leadership will survive if Labour gets punished in elections in Scotland and Wales?" Well, that'll be part of it, like, because they'll lose in, well, whatever elections happen in England and in Wales and Scotland, they're going to get absolutely battered. Yeah, that will be part of the kind of calculation from the fucking snake droid machine that is Wesley Streeting.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, obviously, we've been talking about like what a year it's been for certain political parties. But a good segue here to talk about the parties of the constituent nations of the United Kingdom, and actually they've all had pretty good years. The parties of these constituent nations, they've had pretty good years so far.
The DUP,
in comparison,
the DUP haven't had a good year. They're
not in control in Stormont, are they? It's Sinn Féin who have had a good year.
No, they have had a good year. That is true.
I mean, I guess they're not really part of the constituent nation they're a part of is Ireland, i.e., all of the counties.
True.
But even so, like, we're discussing before about Keir Starmer's future as the Labour leader, and like, well, it's his leadership can't last past the local elections, so they're going to hammered in the councils. I'm like, I actually think that the biggest thing that will contribute to the ousting of Keir Starmer will be losing Wales.
Oh yeah,
a Labour losing Wales is again like the Labour Party dies without Wales.
Oh, absolutely.
That's where the party kind of it's born. Its roots are in Wales.
Its roots are in Wales, especially in the kind of industrial or former industrial belt of South Wales. If you look at every election, even bad elections, they always won those seats. They won the seats around Cardiff, Llanelli, Swansea, the Newport, these kind of places. There was a big red belt in the south of Wales where lots of people lived because that's where big cities are and that's where industry is and so on and so forth. And there's always like one big green bit where Plaid Cymru won, but it's like no one lives there, so it's all fields and mountains and stuff. Similarly with like big patches of orange in Scotland. Anyway, the point being, they could always rely on, 20 seats from, various parts like that. It was a kind of smaller version of the red wall, so to speak. And with that gone, they're literally like, it's impossible for them. Without those seats of South Wales, without the seats of the kind of central belt of Scotland, without that northern red wall, they can't win. They cannot form a government. And they might not be an ongoing concern, frankly. They might actually be a dying party.
I mean, I think that's true. And I think they wouldn't form a government because I don't think anyone can form a government now. The parties and the political calculus is so split.
Oh yeah,
that
but I just meant in general, like even in normal times, they've never been able to form a government without those seats.
100%. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely 100% correct. But there's like this real kind of spiritual death of the Labour Party if it loses Wales. And they could lose they lost councils in England, but they kept Wales. I think maybe Keir Starmer could potentially hang on because of just how disastrous it would be for them to have to change leader. But they are in like terminal, we're sending the Labour Party off to the hospice if they lose Wales. And they're not just going to lose Wales. They're going to come third, and not like a close third either. They're going to be almost as dead as the Conservative Party in Wales, who are also, again, like, interesting how irrelevant they are to the conversations about the political happenings of the last year. That's just an afterthought. Again, the Conservative Party gained seats in Wales in 2017 and in 2019, and they might have zero in both the Senedd and in Westminster by the end of this Parliament.
Talking about being this sort of Labour Party spiritual home, I imagine that the three ghosts that visited Keir Starmer, the ghost of Christmas past must have been an Ira Bevan, just saying, "What the fuck have you done to my party, you Tory cunt? I fucking hate you. You are the vermin of which I spoke."
100%, 100%. It's going to be because they're going to get a real drubbing.
The thing is, ultimately, they deserve it. They actually deserve it. Even if the people who replace them are reform and it gets worse or whatever, these fucking cunts need to be taught a lesson. They need to be given not just a bloody nose. They need to be given their P45 from history. Leave.
In a total ritual international humiliation is what Keir Starmer and Morgan McSweeney need, because they won't learn otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think they'll learn anyway, but like this is necessary. It's necessary for them to get humiliated and obliterated and smashed into 1,000 tiny pieces, and the tiny pieces set on fire. Like, that's the reality of what is
Well, it's
necessary to be able
the
to give
long-
these people the kick up the arse they need to reshape the party back to what it should be.
Well, not just that, but to give a sort of echo through history of, like, firstly, killing the kind of centrist Blairite New Labour era completely. Like, it's already dead, but, like, they don't seem to realise it's dead. This will absolutely put it to bed, so to speak. And secondly, to teach future generations that this kind of technocratic, you know, paint-by-numbers type government will not survive. Like, it can't work. So don't do it. You need to actually give people a reason to vote for you. And they haven't done that for, well, certainly the entirety of this prick's leadership, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And whilst we're talking about Wales as well, it's worth pointing out the people who are going to be usurping them in Wales, and I think you probably will come first in the Senedd. They probably won't come first in Westminster because of the dynamics of voting there, but in the Senedd, Plaid Cymru, they're going to be the people in charge in Wales. And they've had an absolute barnstorming year, a real barnstormer. And not only will the Caerphilly by-election, which was a real kind of turning point in the usurping of Labour by Plaid Cymru, because they're a party who actually care about Wales, right? Like, they are going to use that as a springboard to do very well in the Senedd elections and become the biggest party there and represent Wales as a Welsh party, right? And that will also give them the impetus to change the electoral calculus for the tactical vote in Westminster. Once they have proven that they are the mainstream centre-left party for Welsh voters, every centre-left Welsh person is going to say, well, I can't allow Nigel Farage to be Prime Minister, I've got to vote for Plaid Cymru. They did in Caerphilly, to the point where Labour got 10% in what has been a seat that's sometimes had like 60 or 70% Labour vote in the not-so-recent past. And so in Westminster, you may see Labour with no seats in Wales and Plaid Cymru with the most seats, which is which was unthinkable. Not even 5 years ago, this was unthinkable. And this is where Plaid Cymru are going to be. So, I watched a video by some Norwegian person or Danish person, I believe, who does videos about broadly the kind of the lay of the land of politics of European countries. Now, they said that the best year for a political party for this year was Plaid Cymru, and I don't think it's difficult. I think it would be difficult to argue against that.
Possibly so. I genuinely think the Green Party, although maybe the payoff for the Green Party is next year, but either so, the huge amount of membership is pretty impressive.
That's true.
But either way, they've both had exceptional years, and that's only for the benefit of the country, frankly, because they're both pretty based parties, you know.
I mean, they even if they don't, at least in the case of the Greens, obviously implied in Wales, they will be in power and they will be. Happen for the Greens, both of those parties, and of course the Scottish National Party, who we should definitely turn to in a second. They will be the thorn in Labour's side that forces them to stop telling their own base that they are vermin who should be hunted for sport, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like you say, it's once it reaches that tipping point when the Labour Party can't realistically say you have to vote for us to stop reform because voting for you helps reform. The Labour Party are the vote splitters at that point, and that tipping point is almost impossible for Labour to come back from, really, because they're not going to be the Socialist Party that the people who are voting for Plaid Cymru or are voting for the Greens or are voting for the SNP want them to be.
Yep, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, and again, I guess the proof will be in the pudding when it comes to how they govern. When Plaid Cymru are in charge, it'll be interesting to see.
That's true.
Following that closely,
and of course, I mean, as with councils, like the scope you have. I mean, obviously, in the Assembly, it's a bit more than a council. But the point being, you're hamstrung by Westminster bullshit, especially when you have literally already a Labour national government undermining the Labour Welsh government by enforcing new buildings in I forget which part of the country it's in. Anyway, against the will of the Welsh Parliament. Literally overturning devolution settlements. Like, it's difficult. It's a difficult situation. So it might not even be Plaid Cymru's fault in a sense, even if it doesn't necessarily work out, because the Labour Party have every interest in the world, because they don't give a fuck about the people of Wales, but they have an interest in their own longevity, I suppose, to try and stymie anything that the Plaid Cymru want to do, in the same way that they've been trying to stymie the SNP in Scotland for years.
and it's failed. And that's probably a good segue into talking about the failure of Labour to capitalise on what was a terrible year for the SNP last year, right?
Yes.
There was just an absolute like car crash year for the SNP.
When your leader gets photographed being arrested in a police car, yeah, that's not a great look.
And just there was all the things going on with the collapse of the Butte House Agreement, all the internal stuff that was going on, like the infighting, people leaving for like Alba and leadership elections, and John Swinney just being a total like non-entity in like the second half of the year around election time, and them getting absolutely obliterated in Westminster from 45 seats down to 5 or whatever, or to 8, I think if they have now, you know, really kind of being pegged down, even though they didn't lose that many votes, right? There was just a big coalescing of the unionist vote around Labour, because Tory and Reform unionists will happily vote Labour because they're really right-wing now. And so that was what happened.
True, but Scotland did have a good year last year because Alex Salmond died. So...
but that means that you'd think that there's a Labour government that can give them the devolution settlement they need, so that you can show that it's not all the Westminster's fault, and like Labour have just been shit, and they can just blame Westminster again. It's so easy. They've just been given a massive layup. It doesn't help that Anna Sawat is useless as well. And
read my lips, no austerity.
Exactly. And so we're at this point where even with a crap leader, because John Swinney is basically a non-entity, right? Almost as boring as Keir Starmer.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
but at least he's got
please leadership challenge.
True, but at least he's got like a decent party and decent policy, which is something.
And he does believe in at least something, which is Scottish independence.
He does believe in that thing, yes. Oh, and of course it's going to be a great year for Scotland next year because they're going to win the World Cup. Yeah.
So true.
Fact.
So true. And that's the thing, is that there are going to be Holyrood elections, and the SNP are going to have a majority, or most likely again, when the Holyrood was specifically designed so that there could not be a nationalist majority.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen twice. And one of those times it's going to happen on like an insanely low percentage of the vote as well.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't happen with the SNP with an absolute majority, they're going to be able to form another coalition government in Holyrood with the nationalist Scottish Greens.
Yep. Yeah, amazing stuff. Genuinely incredible. You love to see it.
It's just like, imagine just having shat the bed in every single possible facet of British politics as the Labour Party. Just everything's gone wrong from start to finish. And
how many years, because they're obviously going to win, how many years will that then be with the SNP in government in Scotland?
The 1,000-year SNP Reich.
I'm sure they love that comparison, yes. Although actually, I think they are. Well, oh Jesus Christ, they are National Socialists. Yes, yeah.
Jokes, by the way.
It's
for Scottish viewers.
That's a
please
joke.
Take this as a joke.
Yeah. What was I going to say? They've literally already lasted longer than the Nazis did. So well done there. By the next Holyrood elections, it will be 26 years. That's a quarter of a century. That's fucking wild. That's wild. So basically, assuming they win next year, by the time of the next Holyrood elections, it will be 26 years. That's a quarter of a century of unbroken. I mean, to be fair, they also had like a coalition in there, so it's not all dominant. But like you say,
in fact, there's been an SNP First Minister in Holyrood that entire period.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which is fucking wild. It was deliberately set up so that you couldn't get majorities. It was supposed to be about like cooperation and, you know, building. It was a sort of the European model of like every government has to be a fucking coalition of like 6 parties or whatever.
Well, it was supposed to kill off nationalism. Like the devolution settlements were to kill off nationalism, and by engineering there could never be a nationalist majority that could push Westminster for independence referenda or for the permission to break away from the Union and secede, right? That was the whole point of formulating whether they did. And Westminster has shat the bed so hard in that time period. The SNP, in multiple occasions, have overcome the structural disadvantage of the way it's constructed to have a majority government, or at least a majority coalition government of all nationalists, because of the rise of the Scottish Greens.
Yeah, no, Murray, not the entire 21st century, because that 26 years will be up to whatever 2030 or 2031, whatever it is. So it'll be like, I think they took over in 2003 3, 4.
7.
Was it 7? Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, there you go. 2007 was when they took over.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, it's just going to be funny to watch Labour fail again, and it's just the SNP just winning by default. Because like it's not like they've done like terribly. There are concerns, obviously, like education has a big problem apparently for the SNP in terms of policy because they spend a lot of their budget on welfare, which is fine. Like child poverty is lower in Scotland than in other parts of the country. They've got nationalised water, nationalised trains before anybody else did. They still have some industry. Like obviously, I think that the SNP's failure on industrial strategy has kind of been exposed. But then again, they're not any worse at this than the Labour Party are. So what else is there to judge that on? It's not like the Reform or Conservative parties are going to be interested in industrial strategy or state investment, is it?
No.
So it's just an SNP Labour competition, and they just both suck in the same way.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit of a wash, isn't it, really, that particular issue? So you judge them on everything else, and on basically everything else, they're better than the Labour Party, that is. Yes, thank you to Holland Cube with 5 gifties, and thank you to Andrew Luke with 5 gifties. I'm going to have to suck so much dick. Honest, I am. And you know what? I'm a trooper. Let's go.
I think, and there's also, again, we mentioned them briefly, and maybe there's not much to say here, but Sinn Féin continuing to lead in Stormont, DUP just constantly just failing miserably. You love to see it.
You do.
Sodomy 1, Northern Ireland 0.
I don't think it's even 1-0 at this point. I think we're talking. This is a battering. This is a 4 or 5-0 job. This one, honestly. Sodomy's never had it so good. Giggity.
For the people who don't get that joke, the previous kind of natural party of government in Stormont has been the Democratic Unionist Party, who were a political party founded out of the ashes of a pressure group called Ulster Against Sodomy.
Yeah, by the late. Can we get some lols in chat? The late Ian Paisley Senior.
Yeah.
Who is dead, and that's very funny because he deserves to be dead. And actually,
Sodomy 2.
True. And Sodomy's just banged in an absolute classic from the edge of the area. 2-0. Lovely stuff. Yeah, what was I going to say? Out of sort of like respect for the TOS and the fact that I'm on with another person, I usually do a thing which I'm at the end of like a awards ceremony or something like that for like people we lost this year. I do a different thing, which is a list of people I wish had died this year. But I'm not sure, given the way in which they fucking banned me for the Charlie Kirk bit, I think I might have to knock that on the head for this year.
Touche.
I don't know. But you can guess some of the names anyway. Talking of which, Israel's still doing its thing.
I mean, it's been a weird year for the Middle East politics, right? Because it started off, right, the first half of the year was talking about how essentially Donald Trump had given Netanyahu his blessing to do the final solution in Gaza, right? Like,
yes,
we're going to turf out all of the Palestinians and replace it with an Elon Musk manufacturing zone or whatever the fuck it was called.
It wasn't. He was going to do a fucking Riviera on the Mediterranean or something.
That stupid AI video.
Yeah. Oh, that was fucking wild. That was mad shit. Yeah. But then, I mean, yeah, then he had like a fortnight just before and after the Peace Prize where he thought, well, if I just do peace now, they'll give me the Peace Prize or something. And so, not realising that's not how that works, and decided to actually stop Netanyahu a bit.
I mean, there was this thing where just Steve Witkoff went one day and just said, "You're having a ceasefire," and they just did. Because turns out, right, that was a power that the envoy to the United States president had with Israel at literally any point, which could have been exercised by Joe Biden at any point between October the 7th, 2023 and November 2024.
These fucking shitlibs are like, oh, so you think Joe Biden just has a ceasefire button in his fucking office? No, it's called a telephone. All he has to do is ring up Tel Aviv any time, night or day. Trust me, they will wake him. Because literally America's writing all the fucking checks and say, you're having a ceasefire. Okay, we're going to agree to a ceasefire. That's it. Boom. And then you can do a ceasefire. He had that power the entire time and did absolutely nothing. So for all of the bad that Donald Trump has done this year, and it's been appalling, and it's going to get worse, because in order to cover up the fact that he's raped every child on Earth 1,000,000 times over or something, he's going to nuke downtown Caracas. Or you know what I mean? Like, he's also literally the only American politician who seemingly has pushed back on an Israeli leader since Reagan.
Jesus, I mean, that's just so miserable that that's true,
Yeah.
right? And because the thing is, like, Benjamin Netanyahu basically turned on a dime from trying to placate the Americans to ensure they kept on side to going, oh, we're implementing the Trump plan, right? It just immediately, as soon as Trump just put out this thing, we can, because again, he just speaks that thinking, and we're going to turn in this beautiful Riviera, it's going to be wonderful, the beachfront property.
Not just that, but he did the thing. Still one of the greatest bits of shit oratory ever. Of literally the negotiations were happening and it was going really badly, and he literally just came out and he was going on to like Air Force One to like go somewhere, and the press pack stopped him and he went, look, we've been talking with the Palestinians, with the Israelis. Look, the Israelis, they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
That's what Iran. That was
Iran. So Iran and Israel. It's like they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
By the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that cheeky little war that happened. Look, I saw some people saying like, oh, Israel has become the unassailable power of the Middle East, blah, blah, blah. Motherfucker, they bombed Tehran. Tehran bombed them back a little bit, and all of a sudden they were like, oh, okay, peace, please. We don't want the bombs, no. Like, they're such pussies at heart, really. Like, when they're not firing upon unarmed civilians, when they're firing against a country that can fucking clap back a bit, all of a sudden, not so fucking brave, the most moral army in the world.
What's really sad, right, is we basically only got like the permanent ceasefire, because it's not actually a ceasefire. Israel keep killing people.
Well, exactly,
Of course they are, you know.
Nothing
It's
bad
a
can
slow
happen. It can
annexation,
only
really,
good
let's be
happen.
true.
Yeah.
But the only basically way they got that is because a bunch of Republicans became anti-Semites, right? It's really sad that the thing that stopped the death was the fact that a bunch of right-wingers have been convinced that Jews control America now.
Well,
and that is the reason why Trump changed in terms of his Gaza policy.
Well, yes and no. I know what you mean, and the meme is funny there, albeit not funny in terms of its outcome, I suppose, or whatever, or its kind of underpinnings. But there's also a kind of growing isolationism, because their want to pull out of NATO is not really to do with anti-Semitism. They want a more isolationist approach, which I'm sort of okay with, really.
Yeah, they've convinced themselves that they were spending all this money on like a kind of military envelope around Europe out of the goodness of their little hearts, and that's being taken advantage of by the selfish Europeans who have welfare states, right? And I'm like, what, do you think you were getting nothing out of this deal?
Yeah.
Did you think that you were just like doing this because you were really benevolent America and not because it was a massive geopolitical and strategic location to which to have military bases, and also it kept the entirety of Europe subservient to American capital, which made your country rich in this kind of infinite feedback loop, right? You do realize that's what you were doing with NATO the whole fucking time. It wasn't just you being daddy America, keeping your little children safe, you know?
Yeah. Well, indeed, yeah, obviously. Like, it's... Their understanding of their own nation is poor. Their understanding of foreign nations is unbelievable. I love watching Americans try and talk about British politics, because it's like, I don't know. It literally is. It's the old meme of, it's like someone who didn't read the book trying to do a report on it.
Like American political analysts, who I greatly respect, will talk about British politics and they'll just get it all wrong. Like Sam Cedar, he'll get things wrong all the time about British politics, right?
Yeah. Well, because fundamentally, and I suppose this is probably true of a lot of, like, when you're the cultural, political, economic, military hegemon of Earth, very little from the outside penetrates your kind of sphere in terms of news or culture. Like, the thing they know about Britain is Downton Abbey.
And also, I think
do you know what I mean?
Speaks to the fact, like, this isn't America's fault, right? This is Britain's fault because we're completely fucking irrelevant now. Like, why would they need to know about what's happening in our politics? Our politics is unimportant because we are an unimportant country. We are just a little fucking vassal state.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they've already bought us. Like, they already own us. They don't. Why would they need to care? They care more about fucking Greenland than they care about Britain.
Literally, it's so true, so true. Like, they don't bother learning about politics. We're not relevant. Why would they? Why would they care? Like, would they need to care? You know. But like, yeah, it is interesting. It is interesting to see this. But
how? Okay, so what's the prediction for 2026 with regards to Palestine, etc.?
Well, I think it's just we're going to continue to see the kind of stuff we're seeing now. They're going to slowly push the yellow line further and further towards the coast, and the current like exclusion zone that they've got is just going to eventually be annexed, right?
Yeah, that's basically, I think, probably the long-term plan. Because again, this is always about annexation. This is always just the Zionist thing, you know.
Well, it's just Judea and Samaria. It's in the Likud Party fucking charter, isn't it?
Yeah, just take as much land as you can. Like, there's a reason that when the Syrian regime fell, they went, "Oh, we'll just nick that bit of Syria."
It's so true.
Haven't given that back. They've just got that bit of Syria now, apparently, and the world's just like, okay, cool, whatever.
I mean, what the fuck's going on with Syria? Another thing that happened, by the way, turns out it's when Al Qaeda controls Syria, it's fine, not a problem.
Yeah. So, according to the British government, Al Qaeda good, opposing genocide bad.
literally, like, they are far more concerned with terrorist grannies than they are with al-Sharaa, who is quite literally the head of a whole ass fucking Al-Qaeda offshoot in Hayat Tahrir al-Shams, I think it's called, right?
I think you mean the brave fighters of whatever group you just said there, which I can't pronounce.
Literally the brave fighters of Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. Like, it's so funny to me. Again, just the year where everything happened, apparently. It seems to be everything happens now.
Well, assuming you can pronounce the name of that group, you can say you support that group, because they're not terrorists, and therefore the British government will not arrest you.
Are they?
Didn't they get? I think they got de-prescribed because the British government wanted to enter into negotiations with them. And technically speaking, we don't negotiate with terrorists. Technically, I mean, we obviously do all the fucking time, but like officially, we don't.
Oh, they are still designated as terrorists by the United Nations and the EU, but not the UK and the US anymore.
Well, Brexit benefit. We get to just de-prescribe fucking Al Qaeda when the woke EU keeps shitting on Al Qaeda all the fucking time. It's you know what it is. It's Islamophobia. See what I'm doing? I'm using the Israel playbook. It's Islamophobia to be against Al Qaeda. See, it works. It's fine.
Oh dear. I was going to make a point about... Oh, yeah, we were discussing the kind of the rise of the America First movement, you know? And this kind of this isolationist stuff. But essentially, they're just like, we don't want to spend money on things that aren't, like, for us, but without realizing that that's what America was already doing. Like, people were cheering US aid cuts. And I'm like, you know that's, like, soft power. You know that's like comprador capitalism that you're doing there. That's maintaining influence in the global south, which now you've now abrogated and will be now taken over by China in your essential humiliation.
Well, it's not even just soft power, of course, because there's a reason these countries allow military bases. If you stop paying the piper stops playing your tune. And all of a sudden, China comes along and wants to pay. All of a sudden, China gets to open military bases. So it's not just soft power, it's very much hard power as well. And people don't seem to realise this. It's not even just like, you know, the Eastern hordes are at the gates of Vienna or whatever, because literally you've got places in the Balkans now which are taking Belt and Road money. Because the Europeans have abandoned them. And China are coming in and sweeping up the rewards. And yes, they get all of the fucking... rare earth minerals and all the rest of it, which again isn't just soft power anymore. That's hard power. Because
it's the hardest of hard power.
Exactly, because if you've got all the rare earth minerals, you've got all of the chips.
There's a really great video by Money and Macro about this, which is not only do China have like sort of an international monopoly on these rare earth metals now, the only other country really that has as bigger reserves now in terms of these rare earth minerals is Australia, right? The real thing is that the refinement process for these rare earth minerals, it's all China. It's literally all China. So even Australia, what little power they do have because of their big deposits of these materials, because, you know, Australia's fucking massive, they don't get to leverage that because they have to have good trading relationships with China to be able to sell it, because it has to get refined in China.
Yeah. But hang on, considering we just beat Australia, don't we get all of their rare earth minerals now?
That's how that works, right? You put it in a little urn.
Yeah, I think so. That's how it works. Like, which is a good deal for us, because they keep beating us here, and we haven't got any rare earth minerals. So, like, yeah, well, what are you going to do? Well, yeah, I owe you nothing, because we've got nothing.
Rapeseed. You've taken our rapeseed. Oh no.
Oh, well, we've got loads of coal. We don't fucking dig it up anymore, but we've got loads of it.
But like, yeah, so China's hard power is just like America. It's full of idiots. Like, in terms of the Republican voting base, who are just like, yeah, like, we can just completely destroy everything that's been able to make our country rich, and we'll just stay rich because of oil. I'm like, the oil's gonna fucking run out, and you are still at the fucking mercy of OPEC Plus, who can now just go, well, we care far more about destroying America than we do our own political power, so we're just gonna increase production massively. And once they get past a certain point, the economy just fucking tanks, because they can't make money off it anymore.
Well, it's downwind of the fact that Republicans have consistently and purposefully underfunded education. And I don't mean that. I'm not saying that as a joke to say, "Oh, aren't right wingers stupid?" No, they've purposely made sure that the American working class are not educated enough.
Oh, everyone, everyone. They've like no child left behind. Made sure that every child was left behind.
Although I do have to hand it to Christopher Hitchens. By the way, can we get some lols in chat for him being dead? When he said, the Catholic Church have a similar policy called "No Child's Behind Left."
Oh God.
Which, yeah, okay, I see what you've done there. Oh, Little Urn. That refers to the Ashes is played for literally. It must be the smallest major trophy ever. It's like literally like 2 inches big. And it's the original one. They literally burned the bales, the little wooden bits on the top of the stumps, into ashes and put them in the urn, and they play for this little tiny urn. Yeah. Which is why now they've got like a big, massive crystal version of it, which they hand out so you can celebrate it, because it looks mental for them to have 20 blokes doing champagne showers and jumping up and down and fireworks over a 2-inch high trophy. It looks a little bit like the Spinal Tap bit, where they get the inches and feet wrong, and so they come out to the tiniest little Stonehenge ever. It's that sort of thing. Anyway, cricket's weird. Yeah.
But yeah, so the biggest thing that's going to happen in America is that suddenly they're going to think that they can live off of oil forever. Like, again, what was crazy is that, as somebody who doesn't like Joe Biden, because, you know, the whole genocide thing, right? Like, in terms of macro policy, he was doing everything right. Like, this giant industrial strategy, this giant fucking investment program into green energy production and into, like, microprocessors and into electric vehicles, with tariffs on China to ensure that they could bring production back. And I was just like, yeah, this is what everyone who voted Trump said that they wanted, just didn't realize was actually happening. And Trump came and said, we're going to kill all the green energy jobs. We're no longer going to compete with China. We're going to go back into drill, baby drill. We're going to pretend that oil lasts forever when it literally fucking doesn't. That's the whole point of fossil fuels, is that they do not last forever. And that's killed all the jobs. Manufacturing is in steep decline under Trump. And instead of using the access to the Treasury for the Federal Reserve to put money into people's jobs, they've given massive tax cuts for people to do stock buybacks. Like, it's just there was a genuine good economic policy from the Biden administration in terms of both internal politics, because American unemployment was the lowest it's basically ever been at 3.8%, and the jobs all came back. Like, wages went up, union rights went up, and the FTC was really kind of hammering corporate mergers and anti-competitive practices. It was kind of going slightly back to the industrial policy of old from like the New Deal era, not in terms of the social programs, which obviously weren't very good, but in terms of the way they approached macro policy was kind of different. And the jobs were starting to come back, and then Trump came and go, ha ha ha, lol, no, green energy is woke, and then just killed a bunch of projects for green energy that created jobs in Republican states, in like Georgia and shit, which is now obviously going to be a purple state, and all these jobs were killed because Trump thought that green energy was woke.
True, but like, I know the real reason you hate Joe Biden. Anti-Irish hatred.
It's true. I'm an Irophobe.
You are. You're an Irophobe. Yeah.
Like, but now again, Samso makes a very, very important case, right? Is that why should we care whether Trump's policy is stupid and kill the jobs? Because we can solve it by bombing Venezuela.
True. Just steal all. Look, you say oil doesn't last forever. Our oil doesn't last forever, but Venezuela's oil is more oil. So let's just steal. let's steal. We've already like rinsed Iraq. So let's steal. Let's steal Venezuela's oil. Let's go.
Yep, that's literally it. They just want American petrochemical companies to have access to Venezuela's oil. And like the rest of the world is decarbonizing. Who the fuck do you think you're going to sell the oil to?
Yeah, that is true. Well, I suppose a lot of it will be domestic use and things, probably.
When that is true, because they'll be the only country still using it at some point.
Yeah, they'll go from being 90% of emissions outputs to 100%.
Just
Brilliant.
honestly, it really is incredible just how kind of traumatically bad the economic policy has been under Trump, right? Like,
yeah.
Because again, as I talked about in not 5 minutes ago, I don't think tariffs are bad. I think tariffs, when they're done right in certain sectors and on certain products, can be perfectly reasonable.
Well, they do have to.
You're in an international trade war with China over microprocessors and all that kind of malarkey. You're super tariff on it, you know?
Yeah.
Like the EU famously gets mocked for being, free trade by people on the left. I'm like, well, I mean, it is free trade internally, but it's protectionist externally, right? Like post-Brexit, we are the ones doing the free trade. We are the ones with a free trade agreement with China, where our electric vehicle production is going to go under because you can get BYD cars for a third of the price because we have no tariffs. The EU has tariffs. They're protecting producers in the EU, which we are not doing now we're outside the EU. Despite the fact that the EU is free trade, so we lost all this production because of the EU. Well, we're doing worse now, right?
Well, but tariffs have to be targeted, though, and I mean, obviously, we can all laugh at he put tariffs on penguins and stuff because that's just hilarious. But there are genuine examples of he put tariffs on coffee imports to protect the American coffee industry. Coffee literally cannot grow in any part of America. You have to have a very specific weather patterns and all the rest of it, and soil and all this shit. And so it grows in 4 places on Earth, none of which are in America or the United States thereof. There are some in South America. So there is no domestic. There's no domestic coffee industry in the United States to protect. So it's just wild flailing. It's when you shouldn't allow the federal government to fall into the hands of just morons.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Is that and the whole point of tariffs as well is that you tariff the completed item, right? Because what you're protecting very specifically is the production of the item that you're tariffing, right?
Yeah.
So the EU tariffs electric vehicles, like the completed components all together that have formed the thing that is the electric vehicle, because that's the job that's being done by workers in the EU, and they don't want their products to be undercut by cheap ones from overseas, right? That's literally it. But if you taxed with a tariff all the different constituent parts that go into making up a car, which is what the Trump administration have done by just doing tariffs on everybody, right?
Yeah.
It just makes the cost of production higher so that you can't compete with the ones that are coming in from China anyway. Right?
And they don't know how to collect the fucking tariffs in many cases as well. So they haven't even been collecting many of the tariffs.
No,
they're just sort of flailing because they're not fundamentally. I mean, I use the word sensible here in its genuine sense rather than the kind of silly James O'Brien sensibles. They're not.
I love that's what that word means now.
I know.
That word has been tainted now.
Yeah, the word sensible now means wanker. Brilliant. Anyway, but they're not sensible people. They're not like sensical people either. They fly by the seat of their pants, which is not how you're supposed to do government. You can't set any kind of plan in any department because you know that Trump's just going to upend it tomorrow. So there's no point. And so essentially you don't end up just with bad policy, you end up with no policy because no one does anything. You end up with just a kind of abrogation of government because people don't make decisions based on the fact that they tried to make decisions and then Trump overturned it for no reason other than he needed to distract from his millionth sex crime that day.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. It's so true. And it's also worth pointing out as well that you are supposed to do industrial policy to back up your tariffs, right? Like you protect the jobs, and then because the market might be distorted by the tariff, you put money from the state into that industry so that you can grow it. That's industrial policy. And
Yeah.
Trump cancelled all the industrial policy, just gave tax cuts to billionaires, and they just did stock buybacks. Of course they did.
Yeah.
Just traumatically stupid levels. Everything
Although,
Trump has done has been terrible from start to finish.
Delightfully, did you see the New York Times story today that he's been selling pardons for between $1 and $6 million?
It's just so funny. Like people just don't realize they're just being grifted. Honestly, it's genuinely quite impressive.
Yeah.
The level to which that the Trumps have just turned being president into a full-time gig, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's just a money-making scheme. The United States federal government is just his crypto rug pull scheme. That's it. That's all they're doing now. You know?
Literally, it's so true. So true. Katie asks, did any of the tariffs work for the USA? Well, under the Biden administration, and to be fair, under Trump 1, right? Under the first Trump administration, when there were the tariffs, which were the basis for the tariffs that the Biden did, but Biden just increased them. It was like targeted tariffs on finished products such as electric vehicles and microprocessors and green technologies. That things that China were competing for the production of with America. And they tariffed them, and it was reasonable, and that worked, and it was fine, and it was good that they were increased by Joe Biden afterwards, right? Perfectly reasonable. It wasn't the problem, and no one talked about the Trump tariffs when he was doing tariffs in his first term because they were reasonable, and it worked. And then they're just doing dumb shit where, like, there is now tariffs placed on, like, things that go into making a piston for a car in the Stellantis plant in Michigan or whatever it is. And these parts have to get produced in Canada, go to America, then get shipped to Mexico, and then back again, and getting tariffed 3 times along the way. So stupid. So stupid.
Yeah, very, very, very silly. Thank you, Rachel. Yes, that is true. That is true.
Remember, of course, if you're enjoying this, right, we don't have a tariff on our streams, but we do have places where you can tariff yourself by subscribing on Twitch for $49.
That's one way of putting it, yeah. Yeah, you can tariff yourself. Yeah.
And you can also subscribe for free with Twitch Prime, right? It's a special tariff that only people who are subscribers for Amazon get. You can also become a member on YouTube for 99p. You can gift memberships to everybody else to boost the stream in the algorithm and to get access for everybody to the excellent emotes that Kevin and I have on our YouTube streams. And you can super chat, you can drop bits, and we both have Patreons, and Kev even has PayPal. Look, there are plenty of options for you to tariff yourself.
Literally.
For our benefit.
Indeed, sir. So, I suppose before we sort of wrap up or whatever, we've not even touched for the year on all the domestic stuff in America that's not economically or foreign policy related. Well, go for it then. I mean, Charlie Kirk getting murked.
And turned into a meme where the AIs have now picked up his face.
And honestly, have you ever seen someone grieving less than his supposedly grieving wife?
It's so true.
Like, I know everyone grieves differently, but, like, she's partying the fuck up, man. Now, to be fair, if I just found out I'm no longer married to Charlie Kirk, I'd be over the moon. But, like, she's supposed to love him, so I don't know what's going on there. Yeah. Amazing stuff.
Literally. But, I guess the breakdown of American civil liberties is fucking terrifying, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. The black bagging of, like, just brown people, basically.
I mean, like, for all of their discussions about, like, the bringing free speech back, I mean, they started off by just fucking black bagging Mahmoud Khalil and Ramita Ozturk and, you know, Sami Hamdi. Just literally just black bagging people off the street.
Yeah. Wasn't that last year? Was that this year? I thought that was before the election, wasn't it? Well, I don't know. Either way, yeah. Alligator Alcatraz. Mad shit. I can't believe it.
Because remember, Trump only became president in January, right?
He did.
So the Trump administration's everything they've done has been in this 1 year. I know it feels like a lifetime of fucking terrifying fascist policy, but it has only been less than a year.
That's mad.
It's mad the amount of insane stuff they've done in just 1 year.
True. Yeah, scary.
This is the blueprint. No one seems to realize that will happen everywhere else, right? Like, so we have nice mass deportations. No, it's going to be fucking militarized, like fucking grabbing people off the street.
Yeah, there's no such thing as peaceful ethnic cleansing, lads. It doesn't exist.
Yeah. Like that's going to be the reality, and they just don't seem to fucking realize that what that will mean. What will mean for the Friends, right? Turns out it's not just going to be the evil asylum seekers that you've been negatively polarized towards by the press. It's going to be fucking Mr. Patel from the corner shop down the road, right? You know, it's going to be, it's going to be like Mr. Ahmadzai, who drives the local taxi firm. Those are people going to be targeted, right? Because, first, you look how we Windrush, right? We don't have proper data on this shit. They might just have the wrong papers in the wrong place, and a stupid government database has not been updated in 10 fucking centuries of the pathetic nature of the poor statecraft in this country, right? So they're not going to have proper data on our systems. They just go, it doesn't match up with this name, one letter slightly wrong because it's mistranslated by a fucking idiot. And they're going to get shipped off to a country, they're going to be shipped off to Togo or some shit, the country they've never even lived in.
Yep, absolutely. The Epstein files being released. That's the thing.
I fucking forgot about the Epstein files.
Mad shit. Honestly, the phrase "yum yum" will live with me to the day I die.
Oh my god! Oh no!
Which has now made the delightful sweet treat, the twisted pastry covered in sugar from Greggs, the Yum Yum, inedible for me.
Literally.
I am the real victim of the Epstein files.
Oh shit! California wildfires as well. That's the thing we forgot about.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Assisted dying.
Yeah,
that whole thing.
Kim Ledbetter literally becoming Death, the Destroyer of Worlds. Yeah. Amazing stuff. Honestly, I'm glad that 2025 is fucking off. I'm scared for 2026 arriving.
I know. I mean, this feels like the penultimate episode in a series covering the end of humanity, doesn't it?
It does feel a little bit end times, yeah.
Like we're at the shit hitting the fan period, and like next year is going to be the fall of humanity period. You know.
You know what? I'm kind of here for it.
It's just all. It's just all just too exhausting, isn't it?
It is. Well, yesterday someone sent me a video. In America, they've now got a thing called No More Tea Bags, which is a tea that they've concentrated into a sprayable liquid that you just put into the cup, and then you put hot water in and milk. And once I've seen that, I think, you know what? The entire evisceration of the human race doesn't seem quite so bad, actually.
Actually, I tell you what my favourite story of this year is, right? My favourite story of this year, because of just how fucking insane the discourse was about it. I think my favourite story has to be Maccabee Tel Aviv.
That was wild, that they went to bat for like the most obviously mental evil bastards ever. Yeah. Because it's anti-Semitic to not want violent hooligans to kill your citizens.
These are Kahanist thugs, like who just got banned in like other countries, like a month after, right? They got banned from Germany, got banned for racist chanting, for like they were in Amsterdam, chanting death to the Arabs. They have a literal rape song.
They literally the weekend after the week that the government had spent trying to desperately force this, the Tel Aviv derby was cancelled because of rioting at the stadium. That it's indefensible. What happened there is indefensible. Again, the Labour Party needs to be destroyed. Keir Starmer, delenda
honestly, it's incredible just how much that this is kind of continued. People have just run with it, just constant. Like Nick Timothy is still talking about this in Parliament, still getting mad at West Midlands police. Like the one thing that this country is supposed to like have reverence for is the boys in blue, right? Is the bobbies on the beat. This kind of historical the Peel reform being the basis of international policing, you know, and the entirety of Parliament outside of just like the Green Party and Jeremy Corbyn and Ayub Khan, who really kind of played a blinder there, honestly.
He really did.
Ayub Khan really kind of showered himself in glory during that period in a way that basically no other MP did during that period of time. The one time it was acceptable to essentially say ACAB was because West Midlands police said that they thought that actually we shouldn't subject the very large Muslim population in Birmingham to marauding Kahanist thugs.
Yeah.
Just
yeah, and like all this thing. Oh, they're trying to ban Jews. Who is? Where's this? I've not seen this. I mean, the fact that literally members of staff from the Israeli embassy attended the game does rather put into perspective that they weren't trying to ban Jews, actually.
Yeah, indeed so, indeed so. I mean, again, because if you were a Jewish Aston Villa fan, perfectly reasonable to go. It was specifically the fans that were banned, and even then, like, it was Israelis who were the fans of this, not Jews. Like, there are non-Jewish Israelis. They keep thing is that it's this Schrodinger's Israel that they keep doing, where when you're attacking Israel for doing bad things, they always say it's the Jewish state. If you attack it, you're attacking Jewish people more broadly. It's anti-Semitic, anti-Zionist because Israel is the Jewish state. And yet, when you point out actually it's an ethno state, so it's bad. It's bad that it has this specific ethnic character and this engineered majority population and demographic, right? We think that this is bad because we oppose ethnic states. They go, no, but don't you realize it's a multicultural democracy with Arabs and with Druze and with Circassians? And I'm just like, but if I criticize their actions as a grouping, as a collective population, you'd never talk about the Circassians, the Arabs, and the Druze. Even though, right, all the children killed in Gaza, I can give a shit whether it was a Jewish or a Druze or a Circassian soldier that murdered them, right? They're all genocidal. They're all genocidal monsters. Don't give a shit. Because it's the actual existence of the state that's bad and nothing to do with the ethnic character.
Literally so. Thank you, Rachel, for the donation. I'm not reading that. That is nerdy rubbish. I don't understand the reference, so I'm just going to ignore you. But thank you for your generosity. Look, one thing I can guarantee you in 2026 is I will still be a wanker. You can guarantee that.
Oh, actually, I tell you what, there's been a political
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Go for it.
Discussed Angela Rayner.
Thanks to both of you.
Angela Rayner. I mean, amazing. Was it this year she got... No, it was last year, wasn't it? She got accused of flashing her minge. Yeah.
Yeah, like conservative MPs, yeah.
Yeah.
Told that, like, the most fucking horrendous misogynist shit I've ever heard.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, she did get copped. She did get copped rightly. But, like, considering some of the shit that people have done that has not ended with them being removed from power... or removed from office or whatever. It's so wild that like a minor accounting thing was enough. Like there are like rapists who are still in Parliament.
I mean, it's funny that there was a one of the clips that's on my out of context Twitter account is me going, oh well, we used to be a proper country with proper ministerial scandals, such as this guy asphyxie wanked himself to death, and now I've gone, I underpaid stamp duty actually. Can we have some real scandals, please?
Yeah, can I don't know who should I judge? Can Peter Kyle please asphyxie wank himself to death? Is that too much to ask? Can one of you have can one of you OD? Really? Is that like come on now? Like I'm not saying you have to die, just like OD and then get like recovered or whatever. But you definitely have to shit yourself in the ambulance.
But I think that there's a broad problem here with Angela Rayner. Is that she just didn't know when the humiliation wasn't worth it, right?
Yeah.
When she was being briefed against, when she was being told that she was actually a special proper government minister, and then having her own briefs taken away from her, or being given to Matthew Pennycook, or like being held up and beaten down in the press, but because she was from a working class background or whatever it was, just constant scrutiny, no one defending her against the misogyny that she was kind of faced with, and also abandoning all her values and pretending to support the disability cuts that no one seriously thought that she actually supported, right?
Well,
constantly giving up.
This is the annoying thing, right? The attacks against her are partly misogyny and are definitely classist. But she is also scum. Like she did support benefit cuts. She did support genocide. Like I don't feel sorry for her in that respect. But like she got treated worse than if she'd done exactly the same thing, but she'd been to, private school and then Oxbridge.
And the other thing as well is that she got her Unite membership suspended.
Good.
Because of her period as a minister in government. I'm like, yeah,
good.
She deserves it.
Yeah, absolutely. You support scabbing. Yeah, fuck you.
To look at what happened with the bin strikes, you can't. Like, it's just
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised United didn't do it to more fucking Labour MPs, you know?
Really should have done. Oh my god, yeah, Keir Starmer's Ukrainian arsonists. We forgot that.
That didn't happen though. That didn't happen, did it?
Oh no, that did no. There wasn't a terrorist attack against the Prime Minister's house by his
No, never.
supposed rent boys. No,
I mean, no, if that had happened, the news would have reported it. Surely.
that would be a massive scandal. I think. Yeah, yeah. But I haven't heard anything about it for ages, so presumably it didn't happen. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if it
sometimes
had
may be
happened,
good,
the press would have been
sometimes
all
may be
over
shit.
this terrorist attack against the Prime Minister on multiple occasions, where people, all of the same nationality, who all happen to be male models, all simultaneously tried to, have arson attacks on places where the Prime Minister lives or lived or owned, right?
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Also, have we worked out yet I mean, honestly, genuinely, I think we need to get the lads on the at Bletchley Park on this one. Have we found out who at Balmoral Palace is yet? Who wanted inappropriate friends? Have we worked out who might be? It's cryptic. Look, honestly, it's a mystery wrapped in an enigma. We'll probably never know. In all honesty, yeah.
What's funny is that people on the right were calling the monarchy woke because King Charles said that diversity was our strength. I'm like, do you think we can get the right wing to abandon monarchism?
I fucking
Say,
hope
right,
so.
You've got a woke king and a Epstein client son.
Yeah.
Maybe just sack it off. Maybe sack this whole thing off. Maybe the juice wasn't worth the squeeze.
True.
Maybe the Queen sharing her sandwiches with Paddington is the exception and not the rule.
True, but she also shared millions of pounds with someone who her son didn't rape, apparently. So,
Yeah, I mean,
that's
and also
the thing.
took money that was supposed to be allocated towards helping poor people and spent it on renovating Buckingham Palace.
Well, who's poorer than the Queen when you think about it? Well,
Yeah,
everyone, basically.
I'm just looking through about the stories from the year now, and I'm thinking like Bob Villain stuff. That was wild. The fucking Tsars of Attila.
The Bob Villain thing came back up again, didn't it? Because finally, Somerset and Avon Police, the county in which Glastonbury takes place, finally said that there was no realistic chance of any prosecution, so they've dropped it. Well, what a fucking surprise! The thing I told you 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what they said is fine, actually. Like, you can argue it's in bad taste, if you wish. I don't think it was. But it's certainly not illegal. Stop being silly.
Yeah, literally 100%. I mean,
thank you to Stratrus for a very generous donation. Thanks to both of you. Well, thank you to you, Stratrus. Much love. And thank you to oh my word, Matilla Pazio, who's got a cute cat emoji there, or PFP. Thank you for 5 gifties. Much love to you. I will happily dance a merry jig in your honour.
You know my favourite story, because we got a really funny TikTok out of it. It was when we realised that the Labour Party was going bust, and they weren't adhering to their own fiscal rules in their own party, which I thought was quite funny.
Well, just the fact that they're going bust, because like the thing is, in order to survive, they need memberships and stuff, and all of their members have left, including many of their councillors.
It's really, again, like they were just said they had to borrow money. I'm like, aren't you borrowing for day-to-day spending? That's not very fiscal rulesy, is it, Rachel?
Exactly.
But again, then even more members have left since we did that video like 7 months ago. You know, like things are not going well for the Labour Party, and you know what? It's very funny to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, fuck them. You know, the door is open, you can leave, and then everyone left. It's like a fucking stand-up, not a stand. It's like a sitcom bit or something. Like, oh, you can all leave if you want to, and then everyone left.
Fleas well and truly shaken off, you know?
Yeah.
All 6 of those fleas that could have voted for them in Runcorn and Helsby. Well, to be fair, it's probably to Reform UK's detriment that they won that by-election, because it's allowed Sarah Pochen to reveal how much of a fucking mental case she is.
True. Although, to be honest with you, I don't see that any of their elections aren't going to go that way. Because their selection policy is, that'll do. That's it. That's like they'll just go, oh, that mental case looks all right. Yeah, go on then. So they're going to have lots of this. If they ever do get like 300 plus MPs, think of the dregs of humanity that it's going to cough up. It's going to be some of the most fucking crazy bastards that have ever gone into that place. And remember, they used to do duels and stuff, you know? Maybe it'll come back. That's the big 2026 moment. Maybe they'll bring back dueling. Lee Anderson will just go, right, meet me at Parliament Green, 2 o'clock. Bring your pistols.
Just looking through more of the stories from this year, I guess. Island of Strangers, that was this year.
That was this year, yeah. The Labour Party going full Enoch Powell, which is lovely.
Kearnock.
Well, someone described Tommy Robinson the other day as Ewok Powell, and I nearly died. I thought it was the funniest. That's brilliant, perfect.
I mean, we obviously talk about members deserting the Labour Party, elected officials deserting the Labour, all the councillor defections.
Yeah,
Either becoming independents,
yeah.
setting up other things like the Rockstow Alliance and the other things like of that nature, or joining the Green Party, joining your party, right? Like, there's been loads and loads of Labour elected representatives who just fucking abandon the party for obviously very understandable reasons.
Yeah, but I mean, it is totally understandable because they're not the Labour Party anymore.
Nope.
Obviously. They're just fucking awful.
A bunch of fascist slags.
Yeah, I like. It is. I like. Okay, I don't want to make this into a thing, but like, we might as well talk a little bit about your party. Like it was a bit.
My party.
Yeah, your party. To me, to you, to me, to you.
I'm a member of the Green Party. What you got to say?
It's a very. It's a stupid name for a party, Jeremy. Anyway, yes. So it was a little bit galling to see the otherwise fantastic Zara Sultana like going, well, the Green Party aren't socialist enough for me. And I'm just like, you got elected on a Labour manifesto at a time when the leader of that party was like, oh, I think Israel does have that right. She does have that right. Like, you didn't leave that party. You were kicked out. No one's blameless here. No one's fucking perfect. Let's chill with the, like, shade, shall we? Anyway. Also, Jeremy Corbyn let himself down by, like, embracing a conservatoid transphobe who then instantly left anyway.
Yep, a landlord specifically. Don't forget landlord. This guy's a fucking landlord.
Also doesn't help. Yeah. Oh, Trump getting the very well-deserved FIFA Peace Prize, as he was literally at like fucking taking Venezuelan tankers hostage, preparing a massive war in South America. Yeah, you know that peaceful guy. Yeah, amazing. Honestly, the World Cup is going to be fucking whack.
Oh, it's gonna be empty, isn't it?
Yeah.
A, no one can afford it, and B, no one can travel to America.
Yeah, no one in America is gonna pay $500 fucking to go and watch Ghana versus Uruguay. It's not gonna happen. It's just not. I don't know if
they're all buying tickets for the Scotland-Brazil game.
To be fair, that's a good game because firstly, there are lots of Scots like who will go, and there are lots of Scottish people or people of Scottish descent in America, and of course it's Brazil, so like obviously, but there are lots of those games that aren't like prestige games, which is kind of shitty to think about it in that way, but it's certainly true. Come on, you know there are some games that are just people aren't going to be that interested in, and yeah, the stadiums are going to be fucking empty, and FIFA don't care because they're cunts. Honestly, it's between them, the Labour Party, and the Catholic Church for the most corrupt organisation on earth.
Yeah,
Really
100%. Or the very least, at least you know the new New York mayor's trying to get the football tickets cheaper.
Zohran Mamdani, I've said this before and I'll say it again. If anyone knows him, tell him I will absolutely suck his soul out through his cock. Okay.
I mean, I do honestly, I do love Zohran. It's been such a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, again, I don't want a guy who's perfect. He's not perfect. I mean, for a start off, he's electable in America. He's never going to be perfect. But And he has to do the whole thing about pretending to be like super cool with the police because like he's now like sort of the head of the police or whatever.
And not just any police, the NYPD and Jessica Tish.
Yeah. So there's going to be like issues there, shall we say? But like just a guy who believes in some shit who'll go out and fight his corner. Like, yeah, no, I will fucking arrest him. Now, I don't know if he actually will arrest or try and arrest Benjamin Netanyahu, but just having the balls to even say it before he got elected, dope. I'm on board with that. I'm very much on board with it. And yeah, and Trump fucking like having a massive man crush on Mamdani to the point where someone pointed out he literally started dressing like him.
What?
Yeah, there's pictures of Trump like in the 2 or 3 days afterwards, and he's got like the kind of crew neck top underneath the suit jacket thing. Like he started to literally dress a bit like Zohran Mamdani. Like I've never seen someone that smitten before. It's honestly, I don't look. He must be one of the smoothest bastards out there. He has got riz, the likes of which was previously thought impossible by humankind. He's turned him.
Honestly, the bit you can call me a fascist, right? But
yeah, exactly. No, it's fine. Don't apologise for it. Yeah, you can call me a fascist. Honestly, spit in my mouth. Call me a bitch. That's. I mean, literally, walk me like a dog. I'll bark for you, Zoran. Yeah.
Although my favourite bit was they took these photos in front of a bunch of pictures, right?
Yeah.
Was it FDR they took a picture in front of?
Possibly,
I forget.
I don't know.
Might have been FDR. But there's this picture, and it's just like Donald Trump smiling and doing the thumbs up, and Mamdani just like trying as best as possible to do something that you could pass off as a smile without actually smiling. And all I could think of was that picture series of Rory Stewart meeting members of the public, and it was like these 3 white people, he's got this beaming grin, and there's a black person just totally like unsatisfied expression. That's all I could think of with the Trump Mamdani photo.
That reminds me of the Key and Peele sketch where it's like the black president is like doing normal handshakes with the white people and gets to a black person and daps him up and stuff. And it's like, he does that down the line, and every time he gets to a black person, he like fist bumps, daps him up. You know, it's anyway. Yeah. He literally did. He started dressing like him, that's what happens when you've got a crush. You start acting like you start listening to the same music. You wear the same clothes. You know, it's Why you've got a poll running? What's the poll? Zoran has stunning riz, adequate riz, no riz. Well, I mean, there's only one answer there. Don't be silly. Anyway, so I suppose what do we think will happen in 2026 then? Or I suppose what do we want to happen in 2026?
I'm on the Sunday roast. The prediction that I made, right? So I made a prediction about Keir Starmer losing the leadership and Wes Streeton taking over. Obviously, very easy prediction. But I made an American prediction. Given I'm America right now, I'll make that one, which is that I think that 40 sitting Democratic members of the House of Representatives and senators will lose their primaries in the next round.
Really? Okay, that would be very, very significant because that's a lot. Now, I think there's bound to be a turnover, not just because lots of them are old, because that hasn't stopped them before. Being dead doesn't seem to stop them. Look at Mitch McConnell, for instance, who is literally a corpse at this point. Anyway, I look forward to him falling over multiple times every day in 2026. But yeah, the issue, I mean, not just the issue of Israel and Palestine, although that's certainly a thing. A lot of definitely the movement has moved towards a little bit of a more progressive thing, and people are sick of this like blue dog Democrat bullshit. Again, I mean, the medium, the kind of centre ground doesn't really exist for the most part.
I mean, for what it's worth, I think that whilst I think that is true to at least a certain extent, there's also another dynamic, right, which is that there is a willingness to fight that they want to see, and a lot of the Democrats, whether they're blue dog or not, I mean, these mostly blue dog Democrats who are like this, have like got this kind of politics of reconciliation. They've absorbed the when they go low, we go high style politics. And it's eventually meant that they've just been total capitulation. I mean, look at Jeffries, look at Schumer, that kind of stuff, right? And not only is there a kind of hankering for a more kind of meaty policy coming from the Democratic Party, they also want people who aren't pathetic, spineless wimps. which is what Chuck Schumer is, and what a lot of the people
Yeah,
in both
Schumer.
the House caucus,
Schumer needs to
Yeah.
do one.
in both the House caucus and in the Senate, right? These people are just totally spineless, and they need to be replaced with fighters rather than folders, right? Like Brad Lander's not particularly progressive, but is he more of a fighter than Dan Goldman? Of course he is.
Yeah. Blue Dog, please clue me in. Oh, so it's for British people. That basically means like the right of the Democratic Party, basically. So like the basically soft Republicans who stand for the Democratic Party. In essence, who have made up the kind of leadership of that party for far too long. In all honesty. Yeah.
And I think that's why that there's going to be so many primary wins, because not only are people going to lose their primaries because they're not offering enough policy, but also because they're not offering enough fight. They're not being seen to oppose. When again, fascism is happening, and they're going, well, maybe if we just be quiet and wait until the next set of House elections. No, promise that you'll send ICE agents to fucking Alcatraz. Promise revolutionary tribunals so that they know if the Republicans ever lose power, their lives will, as they know it, will end, right? That they'll be sent to prison for their lives for the crimes that ICE have committed, right? Be fucking, you actually have a soul, right? Don't try and triangulate, which is exactly what Labour are doing and failing to do. Don't try and say, ICE are committing crimes. If we take power, we will prosecute them to the fullest extent. We will send these people down forever. These people will not know peace because of the crimes they have committed in service of the administration, right? I hope you realise if you sign up for ICE, we will come for you when we have power. And people will vote for it because everyone hates what ICE is doing. They know it's criminal. They know that taking people like Mahmoud Khalil off the street in a black bag is unconstitutional and there's no right to do it. And anyone who facilitates that is not just a humble government employee. They are the facilitators of fascism, and they need to be disincentivized to do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly fucking right. Exactly right. And I think, again, these are the sort of the dynamics we've discussed in British politics as well. As boomers become less of a part of the cohort because of the looming death that awaits us all, and younger people become a larger part of the cohort, the movement to more progressive politics will continue, I think. And so you're going to end up with a Democratic Party, quite rightly, that I genuinely think this is to kind of... I'm getting distracted here. I'm trying to be synoptic with it. Israel has, I think, genuinely overplayed its hand so badly in the last couple of years. Not just, obviously, grotesquely in a humane sense, but in the political sense. Because they have forced the Republicans into a different situation, and they forced a Democratic Party that wanted to continue to fund Israel and support Israel into a position where that's now a completely non-sellable possibility.
Yeah, like 70% of Democratic Party voters believe Israel has committed genocide in Gaza.
Yeah, no one wants that now. It's now basically a kind of non-negotiable position. If you are a new candidate anywhere, you have to be at the very least tepidly against Israel.
I mean, like, people who'd previously taken AIPAC money are now refusing the money now.
Well, that's what I mean.
It's not just a vibe shift. This is a sea change.
Well, exactly. Yeah, it's not just vibes. This is what I mean. Israel has so badly overplayed its hand, all at the behest of keeping Benjamin Netanyahu out of jail, basically. That's the reason that it's been prolonged in the way that it has, and the reason that he's continuing, and the reason that he's still not in jail, of course. Both Republican and Democratic parties are moving away from Israel, and I think within the next 20 years we will see those checks start to not be signed anymore.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think Republicans, the Republican base is still pro-Israel. It's just young voters are moving away from Israel, but the Republicans can't move that way, because if they do move that way, they'll lose all their older voters as well. So they're in a real kind of bind on this issue.
Well, that's what I mean.
In
the next 20 years, if someone's 50 now, they're probably going to be dead. Whereas someone whose entire life as a young person has been seeing images on Twitter of babies in bags.
Yeah, literally. To quote,
they're going to be in their 30s at that point, and they're going to be the majority of voters, you know.
Exactly. Well, in the words of Sarah Hurwitz, like, the Zionists are talking through a wall of dead children, right?
Yeah, exactly. Look, we literally saw them firebomb people in their tents.
The guy with the fucking drip in his arm in a burning hospital, right? You could see his arm, like, with the drip in it, like, through the flames. I think one of the most harrowing images I've ever seen.
Yeah, people whose only knowledge of Israel is that are not going to vote to fund that.
No, and the America First people don't want it funded. A, because they're anti-Semites, right? And they
Yeah,
think
that's-
Israel controls
yeah.
them. They think that Israel controls America and shit like that. And they believe in like cultural Marxism, conspiracy shit. Or they just think, well, no, we should spend this on Americans, even though that's just their soft power in the region. That's the whole point.
And not
right?
just that, but they also don't want to spend it on Americans. It's that whole thing of, we should take care of our own. Oh, so you're going to take care of me? Fuck off, you scrounger.
Off. Literally, that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's going to happen? I think it's just that there's going to be this. The Democratic Party, they cannot be electorally viable. You can't win your primary without, at least being somewhat critical of Israel, right?
Yeah.
Like have you followed the I've Had It podcast at all?
No, I haven't, no.
So there's these two like liberal wine mums, right? Resistance libs who live in Oklahoma, who were previously like Obama pilled people.
Okay.
And they've just been radicalized in a year. Probably because watching Hassan Abi because they thought he was hot, and now they've become like of the left wing of the Democratic Party, and that's not an isolated case, right? I remember people doing reporting on the ground at the anti-oligarchy tour from Bernie and AOC.
Yeah.
And they just found like resistance lib wine mums in the audience going, well, Schumer and Jeffries aren't doing anything. These are the only people doing things, and I'm sold. Like, this is the whole point of base building. This is the whole point of having networks, having orgs, having on-the-ground organizations of people, so that when these political points of inflection happened at BLM, we brought people over to the left then too. When there were riots on the streets, it was real revolutionary sentiment. We brought people over by trying to sell them on the left-wing ideas that they've never heard before because they've been trapped in a bubble. This is happening as we speak with the liberal wine mums of America, the Democratic Party's resistance liberal base, because the Democratic Party is doing nothing as Trump destroys America, that rips up the Constitution, tears it up in front of everyone's eyes, right? And the only people who have answers are the left.
Yeah.
And that's why Mamdani won,
Yeah, people wearing the frog costumes outside the fucking Seattle ICE office, literally physically blocking them from leaving the building. Like,
yeah, this is the resistance now. It's not people voting for Obama. Like, turn up and vote. It's basically the Democratic Party's campaign message.
Literally, who'd have thought that the conscience of the United States was a person in a frog costume? There you go.
I mean,
that's where we're at. That's, again, in a world of weird, what does the word weird mean anymore?
Well, yeah, in the same way that the Democratic heart, the beating Democratic heart of Nepal was apparently a Discord server.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like we live in a different world. We do not live in the world where Rupert Murdoch gets to just decide what everybody thinks. We live in a different world to that now.
Yeah, again, it's.
We now live in a world where Peter Thiel gets to decide that, which isn't better.
No, true, but yeah, like. So, I mean, again, the people talk about, you can never win these people. I'm like, but you can win as many over as you can, right? Yeah. At the point, it was just a real stroke of genius to do this Fight Oligarchy tour, just doing rallies and talking about the importance of standing up to Trump. Because if there's one thing that resistance lib wine mums hate, it's Trump. And the Democratic Party doing nothing as he destroys America and destroys liberalism, right? The things that Democrats are supposed to believe in. Someone's saying, well, they don't defend liberalism because there's nothing to defend because they realize it's failed. Please come and talk to me about socialism. And the Democratic Party's or their voter bases, their opinion of socialism has only increased over time.
Yeah.
This is the success of, I guess, the two-pronged attack of both attacking from inside and outside. It's brought people over, and now again there's a point of inflection and they're building the base.
Yeah. Sorry, it was Portland, not Seattle, my bad. Thank you, Rachel. Check out APAC Tracker for scores and endorsements. Well, I do follow them on the Twitters.
There's also Oil Pack Tracker as well.
Yes, yeah.
And also follow Stocking the Capital on TikTok, who does breakdowns of every single Congress member's donations and ranks them on a score based on the amount of stocks that they hold and the amount of corporate PAC money that they receive. So you can always see how financially compromised any House of Representative member is from understanding their grade on terms of the transparency index.
Yeah.
Very good account, highly recommended.
So shall we leave it on this more positive note of the left is, whilst not necessarily in a massively brilliant place, growing and improving?
Yeah, I mean there are green shoots.
Yes.
They just need to be nourished rather than expected to grow too quickly. You know, that's the thing. We need to make sure that this is a cultivated movement that we ensure can be as strong as possible, and that starts now. That doesn't start late. That starts now, right?
Well, it started yesterday.
True.
Is the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, so you've seen like the Mamdanis of this world, the
Polanskis
of this world,
yeah,
the Mélenchons of this world, you know, the rise of Die Linke in Germany, you know,
Yeah.
going from political irrelevance to potentially being in third place in some polls, you know,
Mm.
the left has a voice again as the centre fails.
Yeah,
And-
the Spanish government are doing pretty good things.
I mean, they're not even necessarily. They were a social democratic party actually doing social democracy,
Yeah.
which they don't do anymore, right? And it was really good for the country and has given them economic growth. So, like, you know, Sanchez is a real kind of success story about even the social
No,
democratic.
compared to what we've had, I will take some boring ass social democracy, please, and thank you. Yeah, by comparison to fucking Starmer, Jesus Christ.
And of course, we stand Sumar and Podemos, right? Ione Belarra, the I forget which minister she was in the Spanish government. She's just been an incredibly fierce critical of Israel. She's great. I love her.
Well, I think one of the things that'll be interesting next year is, or one of the predictions, will there be a Eurovision next year?
Oh, that's gonna be so fucking funny with it, because it's not gonna happen if everyone pulls out.
Because literally, we had the initial like 4 or whatever that pulled out, and we've had like literally artist strikes now. So like in, I think, is it Finland or somewhere, literally all of the entrants for their Eurovision like contest to go into the contest, so to speak, have all said, if we win this, we will not represent Finland in this competition. So like, what do you do then? You can't take part because all of the people who could take part have said they won't take part. I don't know. Do you just fudge it? I don't know. You know.
I mean, that'd be interesting to see. I mean, the continual international isolation of Israel. I mean, it'll probably lead them to lashing out even more. You know.
Very possibly, but like ultimately, it comes down to, as has always been the case, will America stop them?
I mean,
we'll see.
That is also true. But then again, there's just so much pressure coming internally to rein them in.
Oh, that's true. It's Britain's best chance of winning the Eurovision if literally no one else is there.
Us versus Israel.
Oh, imagine if we lose to fucking Israel because they put all the money into that fucking fake phone shit again. they win with Mugabe numbers. Jesus Christ. Oh, no.
Bashar al-Israel.
That's a complicated joke, historically speaking. Good Lord. Yeah, Poland is poised to pull out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not a liberal bastion, no. I mean, they're probably doing it because, like, anti-Semitism, you know. 'Cause, you know. Just saying.
Quite.
Just saying.
Quite.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
And you know what? I tell you what. I finish on. You know what's been really great? You know what's been really great, Kev, in 2025? Doing Question Time on Laura Koonsberg with you.
Oh, then it has been dope. Yeah.
It has been so good.
Are we down?
Honestly.
Are we down for another year?
Let's fucking go.
Boom.
The tradition shall continue.
Fuck
Bosh. Bosh.
Let's go. Yes, here's to another year of shouting at Laura Koonsberg for being shit.
So no, whoa. Don't you mean here's to another year of incredible, high-quality, award-winning journalism?
No, I fucking don't mean that. No, she's shithouse. Anyway, and that's my positive end. No justice for 2025. Honestly, it has been fantastic doing these shows with you.
Literally, it keeps me the humour that we have keeps me sane in these dark times. It really does.
Yes, indeed so. And it's been fantastic with the audiences, combined audience. It's been delightful.
It really has been, honestly. There's so many names now that I just know from seeing in my chat every day. And honestly, again, I would not be with you without my audience. You contribute with your money, with your time, with your shares, with you're promoting me. All the love you give me in the Navarra comments, which is lovely because that means that they see me as someone who is positive for their brand image or whatever it is, and they keep getting me on. Like, honestly, it's been I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you, chat.
Yeah, but don't like let that go to your head. We're still better than you.
It's true. We are streamers and therefore the most oppressed minority. So if you don't support us, that means that you're a bigot.
Exactly. You're literally a racist if you don't give us money.
Anti-streamer racist.
The worst kind of racism.
Racist.
And on that bombshell, should we see who we're raiding into?
I'm going to try Left of the Box on YouTube. I'm going to go into... that's gaming shows. Is there actually doing actual politics? Looks like everyone's just kind of doing gaming.
Gaming. Guy.
I think Subversive History is doing some politics, maybe? No politic here. No politic here. My favourite meme of 2025, honestly.
Subversive. Do I follow this person? I'm not sure I do. But either way, go and check them out. Yes. Okay, well, I'll see you next year then.
I will also see you next year. Thank you for excellent. Here's for an even more interesting 2026. I'm on the road to 100,000 subscribers. Let's see if we can do it in 1 year.
Fuck
we can
yes.
triple my current subscribers in 1 year. That is the aim. I don't think it's likely. So I've kind of been doubling, and I doubled from 17k to 35k this year. So probably we'll only get to 70k, but the stretch goal is 100k subscribers by the end of the year.
My stretch goal is to get 3 more subscribers. I reckon I can do it.
As long as I keep collaborating in the videos.
True. Okie doke. Yeah. I'll be back tomorrow. Are you back tomorrow? I don't know.
Yes, I can't afford not to because I took a week off for Christmas, so I do not have much money.
Fair dues. Okie doke. Free Palestine.
As always, for one last time, Free Palestine.
Bye.